let me swap over to here and see that everything's fucked up. Why am I not surprised? So that needs to go down a bit, right? There we go, that's much better. I really need to see about I don't know how I'm gonna get this set up properly without any issues going on. Oh no, Eve's fucking around with the fucking Logitech stuff on her webcam, and I can already see it. Today's going to go off to an amazing start. But we're all here, we're all ready to go. Let's get everyone back in and continue on with the shenanigans.
He hasn't undeafened us yet.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I have undeafened you now, and yes, I was face palming at you. I mean, I wish it would be much better if it was a dolly zoom, like if everything in the background just stayed where it was, and then you zoom in on you or zoom out on you while everything around you zooms in, or vice versa. I can't remember what exactly it is. But if it was a dolly zoom on your face, like then it would have been cool. But it's just you just randomly zooming in on your face. It was a little like, Anyways, everyone ready? Everyone good to go? Everyone happy and smiling with Adam's LaveCon t-shirt, I think that is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy. I could be happier. I had to tell some poor chap he needed to self-isolate for 2 weeks today.
Oh, he's got the Rona.
Oh, I know.
He got the coof.
See, if I get the Rona, I have to tell all of my colleagues to self-isolate because we're all in close proximity to one another. So
oh, no.
Hopefully that, and one of my colleagues is also immunocompromised, so hopefully that doesn't happen because, yeah, that would be extremely dangerous. So, right, let's get this game on the go. Last time we played, if you recall correctly, and if I recall correctly, I should say, you guys had returned to the Silverdrake Keep after managing to defeat the Steel Predators, set loose on you by Trog Duran, which you needed to essentially collect and bring back to the Silverdrake Keep in order to try and help your alchemist friend, Jakar, as he's been infected with some sort of disease, and you'd believe that the Steel Predators were the cause of that. Bringing back the Steel Predator and having Jakar take a look at it, it did seem like it was a prototype or like a new version of the Steel Predator that was being built that did have some kind of means of injecting a fluid from the fangs into a target that it had been, but it hadn't really been completed yet, so perhaps there were other beings, demons, devils, whatever, also creating these like similar versions of these Steel Predators. While that was all going down, Victorious decided to amazingly split the party and go off on a jaunty little adventure by himself to WhiteStone, where you managed to get all the way up into the WhiteStone Castle and actually had a conversation with Dr. Ripley about the advancements that she'd made with the firearms after you had provided them to her, and you inquired with her about potentially making a meeting or a gathering between yourselves and the Lord and Lady of WhiteStone, as you're looking to further your your allegiances within Tal'Dorei for the upcoming fight with Kenjor and at Den Visari. After you'd completed that, you returned to the Hydra's Alehouse, where you had gotten yourself a room and then decided to go wander for a while drinking. The rest of you determined that during this time that Victorious is able to use teleportation circles, as anyone with a rune code and an available teleportation circle can use them to go where they'd like. Usually it costs more money, but you know, if you have one, you can use it. And that he'd been seen teleporting someplace else. With the help of Eidos, you were able to have him use the sending spell to contact Victorious and find out that he was, in fact, in WhiteStone, drunk. So you take the teleportation circle, made your way back to the Dawnfather Square in the middle of WhiteStone to see Victorious kind of like perched up against the trunk of the tree, just chilling there, kind of pissed at the base of the tree. And that's where we left off. So, you guys have stepped out into the biting cold climate that is the one of the northernmost reaches of Taldorian WhiteStone. It's gone from quite like mid-afternoon to late afternoon, early evening here in WhiteStone. And Victorious is there before you, sat up back up against the sun tree with an ale. Was it ale or wine you had? I can't remember.
I think I took a load of ale with me.
I think it was a load of ale. Yeah. So yeah, tankard of ale in his hand, just slowly drinking away. What do you guys do?
Well, glad you're okay.
Oh, hello. Do you like the butterflies? Do you like them? Good.
Oh yeah, you conjured like a million butterflies around your head. I forgot.
Why? Why are there butterflies? This is more butterflies than I would expect to see.
I'm going to take a good look around and see if I can observe us being observed. Particularly, are there any guards close by? Or...
Go ahead and roll me a perception check. While you're rolling that, I will go ahead and let you know that there are guards around, and they have been keeping an eye on you as you make your way out of the teleportation circle. But you do see that there are some of the local denizens of WhiteStone have taken a little bit of an interest in the fact that more people have used the teleportation circle. No one uses the teleportation circle. What is this? And they're either interested or maybe a little intimidated by you, as far as you can tell, with that 20.
Carolina, does Victoralis look okay to you?
Does he look okay, DM?
Go ahead and roll me we'll say a medicine check. If you just said something there, Temple, we did not hear you.
Wrong character. My apologies.
Not hearing you at all.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Barely.
There you go.
We can barely hear you, Evelyn.
Inputs.
No, that microphone just does not want to work at all.
What if I talk really loudly? That's not going to work, is it?
I mean, it worked there.
You heard.
Just scream at the top of your lungs for the next 3 hours.
Carry on. I'm still listening. I'm just going to switch to the other microphone that's in arm's length. See you shortly, everyone.
Yeah, cool. No problem. On a 15, Carolina. Yeah, he just looks like he's kind of drunk. You see the ale in his hand. There is the smell of ale in the air around him. I mean, he looks to be fine. He's probably just had a lot to drink in the time that you guys have been apart.
Vic, what are you doing? Drawing all this attention to yourself. And you don't know. Oh, give her that beer. I reach out to take the beer off him.
No, it's mine.
Are you trying to take his beer away from him?
He's drunk. I reckon I could take it.
All right, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. Are you wanting to contest this, Victorless?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, you can make a contested sleight of hand check. I will say that you're going to be, before you roll, I'm going to say it's not a disadvantage, but you're going to be at a -2 because of how much you've had to drink. So whatever you roll, -2 from the total.
Victoralis, have you been drinking?
2 15s. Okay.
Fighting over him.
I'm going to go with actually, we're going to high or low Neftari, since you're the aggressor.
Hi.
I am talking for no particular reason than to test if you can hear me okay.
We can hear you perfectly fine. Yeah, so on a 58, as you kind of like you kneel down and you gesture to just pass over the tankard. You've had a bit too much, and Victorious is kind of like, no, it's mine. And as it kind of like glances away, you just take a quick moment to just snatch and just grab the tankard out of his hand. Victorious, you see it happening almost in slow motion, and as the tankard gets snatched out of your hand, like half a second later, you're like, no, it's my. Oh. It's gone out of your hand, and you're just like half a second late to defending your ale from being stripped from you.
I'm going to start glugging the beer.
Butterflies, attack!
You
Come on, mate. I want the butterflies to attack Neftari.
The butterfly, like, on the command of the butterflies to attack, the butterflies start to swarm you, Neftari. They don't really do much. They just kind of fly around you, and some of them like kind of gently hit off of you every now and then, but they don't really do much.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and swig the beer while the butterflies are attacking.
Yeah, there's I'd say about a quarter of the ale left. You can swig the rest of that if you'd like.
Temple leans over to Coralina. I'm not a betting Warforged, but were I the money kind, I would wager that Neftari tries to eat the butterflies.
Now you come to mention it.
He'll probably do it. It's not the weirdest he's eaten.
I suppose, if anything, I've just tainted it and given him the idea, seeing as I only have one speaking volume.
Yeah. We should probably get Vic somewhere safer than just out in the open.
And sober.
Yes. I'm just looking at Temple at this point.
DM, I'm going to approach Temple with I'm going to approach Victoralis with the big ET hands, and cast the spell of makes them not drunk, which I do have. The touch one.
The cast the 5 points of lay on hands to remove a poison or a disease, and alcoholism is a poison.
That one.
Is it lesser restoration or greater restoration?
A lesser restoration would do as well, but instead of wasting a spell slot, you could just use 5 points of lay on hands.
That's also something I forgot that I could do. Come on now, Victoralis, let's get you up. And I'm going to go to help.
My question for Victoralis is, you'd be well aware that Temple can't do this. Are you wanting to resist this, or are you going to let it happen?
Not really paying attention to Temple at the moment.
He's coordinating the attack.
Yeah, you're too busy focused on the butterflies that are very, very, very slowly but surely killing Neftari for taking your ale. And then suddenly there's a hand on your shoulder, and as you look to Temple, there's a dull glow from Temple's palm. And that nice buzz, that great feeling that's been clouding your mind for the last few hours of drunkenness just suddenly fades away, and you're now completely sober.
Well, waste of perfectly good ale, but
But now,
I was getting drunk without me.
fine. I was just enjoying the scenery.
So where do you get this beer from? We should have a couple more.
Oh, I've got our room back at the Hydra Ale House.
we're probably wanted in this town, and in addition to that, Coralina's probably also wanted in this all planes of existence, so we should probably be sober and get out of here.
Oh, it's fine. I've been up to the castle, spoken to Dr. Ripley. Yeah, it's all sorted now. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it.
It's
Go ahead.
it's fine.
Yeah, I went up to the castle, spoke to Dr. Ripley. A bit of gold needed to exchange hands, but I think we're in the clear.
Okay, but are we in the clear? Because I distinctly remember wanted posters and money and stuff. I seem to have reminded myself that Coralina's probably still wanted. Have you seen any signs or had any buzzing lights above your head, Coralina?
I'm just looking up now.
There's nothing there.
Scrying? Is
What
that
you-
what they're called?
What you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
actually go ahead and do for me is you can both, or if anyone is actively looking for said information, you can roll me perception checks.
One of these buttons brings up my dice tray. There it is.
I'm looking up the state of the guards. I'm also looking to see whether there's a likely ale house where this ale came from.
Okay. On a natural one and 9, Temple and Coralina, you guys don't see anything. There's no like potential floating orbs of scrying magic that are looking down upon you. There's no guards looking your way. There's no wanted posters or anything like that. On the 19, Neftari, as you glance around, you don't see any of this either. And unfortunately, you don't see any kind of ale house where this ale may have come from, but Victorious did mention the Hydra's ale house, which was to the far southeast where you'd stayed before. Solid chance that the owner has the ale there in the tavern. Excuse you.
My goodness, Victoralis, you certainly did drink a lot.
I don't think that was Adam. I think that was David.
Temple rolled a 1 on perception. Somebody bepped. There you go.
But I do love how David's just looking around like, wait, what? Did you guys just hear me burp? Yes, we just heard you burp. Fuck's sake.
Right when everyone was quiet as well.
Exactly.
Hang on, I thought I had push the talk on. Have I not got push the talk on?
I think your key's stuck because it says you're typing constantly, so your key might be stuck.
I'm not typing right now. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
So hear you.
That's odd.
Discord may have changed your settings over to voice activation detection. I have to check
possibly.
that.
Yeah, is it not feeding back then from the speakers? Surely
No.
are you not hearing the speakers?
No, we're
Not
not
at the
doing
moment,
anything.
no. It's all good.
I'll leave it as this then. Fine, if we don't have to press B every time. That's great.
I mean, it means that you don't have to like flood the channel with bees and like maybe release the bees when you make a mistake when you're typing. Not the bees. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, so voice activation. Okay, fair enough. I never left it on that. I just thought it would sort you guys out with it.
Can any of us summon bees? Can any of us summon bees?
Technically,
Those
two,
two
you can.
conquer Bees are
Yes,
animals.
those two
What's
on my
my-
screen can conjure animals.
Wow, that is terrifying. I am terrified of bees.
That one and that one on the stream. Anyway, yeah. So what you guys want to do? Let's try with that again. With that information, you can glean that Vic probably got this ale from the Hydra's Ale House, where you guys stayed the last time you were here. Other than that, there's no wanted posters. There's no guards that are taking particular interest in you. Like some of the passerbys and the local denizens, again, they're still paying attention to you just because of the and you can hear them with your 19. You can hear them, mutter about using the teleportation circle, but and no one's really paying that much attention to you.
Yeah, should we head back to the alehouse then? It's a bit quieter in here. Just
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I certainly need some more ale.
yeah, sorry about that. I guess several just negated an afternoon's hard work.
Well, it means now it's a fair race.
Okay. Right. Well, come on then, butterflies. Let's go.
Why butterflies?
No, I thought they just look nice.
Well, they're just gonna follow you around, or I mean, you could conjure a dog or a horse.
I mean, they are kind of nice. The butterflies.
Yeah, they'll only be here for another 20 minutes or so.
The horses. We left them in a cave full of big monsters.
That we did.
Yeah.
We have
I mean,
stuff
aren't horses like I don't know, can't they survive like dogs can if they're out in the wild and stuff?
Probably. Well, so when the mansion disappeared, they will just appear back in surrounded by the monsters.
They'll be ejected?
Ejected? What? At like terminal velocity, or just they will just sort of.
How fast are you ejected out of a mansion, of a Mordecai's Magnificent Mansion, DM?
It's not ejected to the point, like, it's not a violent ejection. It's not like a explosive decompression from a plane or anything like that, being like sucked out and like launched out. It is just essentially the way I think it would work is that the mansion would kind of deflate from the inside and slowly close in back to the portal, and just it's kind of like more of a gentle nudge to outside the portal, and then once everything's out of the portal and that's not supposed to be there, it just disappears.
Okay.
So it's not like it's like loaded slingshot like launched out at like fucking terminal velocity is splatter off against a tree or something. No, it's not that violent.
So it was 2 or 3 days ride to the cave from here.
Yes.
But I could turn into a bird and perhaps fly there in an hour or two.
Depends on what kind of bird you transform into, but potentially.
I know a fast bird, a hawk or something. They quite fast. They kind of soar, don't they? It's swift. They're quite swift. Aren't they?
Swift
Yeah.
and swifts are pretty quick, yeah.
Right. If we don't get these horses back, then we'll get fined or something. Well, Coralina will get fined because she hired
I
them.
didn't sign for him.
Victoria signed for them, I'm pretty sure.
Right. I got to get these horses back. Is that okay with everyone?
Are you sure you want to go off by yourself?
Well, I'll have horses with me.
Surely you should take some alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, well, if I go by myself, I can get there faster. And there's there was a teleportation square there, wasn't there?
Circle? No, there wasn't.
No. There was just one the demon used to transport in and out. Is that right? I thought he was transporting his monsters into his cave with
He was with the some sort of summoning
Replication.
circle. It's not
Right.
a summoning circle and a teleportation circle have two different uses. Teleportation circles can be used to go anywhere. The summoning circles are like a link between 2 points, either on the same plane or to a different plane. So if you were to use that summoning circle, you probably go. Well, no, there's no probability about it. You would definitely go to the abyss, and it would be bye-bye Neth'Tari.
Okay. We'll go to the alehouse and decide what to do over a pint. But that's my best idea so far.
I mean, if you really want to, would it be easier to have an extra set of eyes with you?
Oh, certainly. Are you coming?
You may not like it.
Oh. Right.
But he's the best I got.
Yes. I guess. I mean, he'll have to fly fast to be able to keep up with me.
I'm sure you could goad him into flying fast.
Right. So I think if we come back as horses, we could probably make it back within the day. It probably only take a few hours as the crow flies, to use the phrase. It'll be going in a straight line, and yeah, well, obviously birds are much faster than horses.
Yeah,
And on the way back, the horses won't be carrying anybody. They'll all be able to run together. It'll be a good jog back. So, and if Sir Barker's with us, he can tell us. He can tell you when we'll get close to town, and we'll be able to get the horses back to the stables. I mean, how long did we hire the horses for, anyway?
few days. About
It was
few
a
days?
week, I believe it was, because it was like 3 days there, 3 days back, plus a day in case something happened. So I think with the time that's gone by, probably still got like a full day of time before you will incur a fine for being late return.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we should go for a pint first.
Okay.
All right, so you guys making your way down to the Hydra's Ale House, yeah?
Yep.
All right, cool. With that, you guys make your way down here to the Hydra's Ale House. On your way, like making your way down, you do pass by a lot of the citizens of WhiteStone. Some of the guards do look at you as you approach them, and there's a hint of recognition. They reach for their weapons, and then their superior kind of just hands out to them on the shoulder and just shakes their head. They look at all of you in turn, and the superior just gives you a nod. The younger of the guards, the ones that are like, partly drawn their weapons, are just like looking at you all with a look of anger and disgust, like, can't believe we're not going to be apprehending you. Sheathing their weapons and then going back to what they've been doing. But you make your way to the far southeast and enter to the Hydra's Ale House.
Hold on. Before we go in, I have something for this that I read in a book.
Oh, no.
An air genasi, an elf, and a beast-hide druid, and a warforged walk into a bar. Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
Have you heard that, Temple?
Temple, you take 4 points of punny damage, as I hated that so much.
Did you like the banging metal noise?
I like the banging metal sound effect, yes, but
I made you laugh. I
You're
win.
taking. That is legit. You're taking a D4, which is 4 points of punny damage because fuck you and your puns. God, I
I've had-
hate that. I hate you so much right now.
Can remove that sticky note.
Oh God, you've got more of them, don't you? I hate you. This is gonna
It
be
was
a shit,
wholesome. It was
This-
wholesome, which is a
gonna be
good alignment thing to do.
bad night for me. Anyway, you guys making your way into the Hydra Ale house?
It seems so.
All right, cool. You open the door, and there's the very familiar veil of energy just before you as you step up, no sound escaping. And as you pass through, it does sound quite lively on the inside, and you glance around. There are not a lot of patrons. It wasn't as packed as the last time that you were here when it was very busy, but you can tell that there's a lot of patrons that are here, like they've just finished work or they're just here to relax. And Shikada's there in the like you're just behind the bar, behind the second veil, and like you can see through as he like he's working on cleaning a tankard. He glances up to you all and sees you, and just gives you a wave and points to the door. And Victorless, you already have a key, and the room is fully prepared for you. Well, you all actually have a key because you didn't actually return them. But hey.
Shikad, my good man, we're going to go retire and discuss our next plan of action. Should a Dr. Ripley stop by, please let her know where we can be found. And if you wouldn't mind, we need some more ale.
I can do that for you. If you just make your way upstairs, and I'll have the ale sent up to you. And a Dr. Ripley.
Yeah.
That's not the same Dr. Ripley from up in the castle now, is it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Right. I'll keep an
Nothing
eye
to-
out for her.
Nothing to concern yourself with, just a little bit of business we need concluding.
If she comes in, do you want me to send her up to you, or...?
I don't see why not. By all means.
If she comes in, I'll send her up to the tower so that she can speak to you in private.
Excellent.
Just good. Does she frequent this bar much anyway, or not? You sound like you're familiar with her.
We are acquainted. I have spoken to her on occasion as I've been spending some of my free time outside of the alehouse. But I wouldn't say we're friends. She's very strange.
Yeah, don't think I've met her ever.
No, the only person that's actually met Ripley is Victorless, I believe.
I think we all went in a different shop, didn't we, at the time?
No, it was last week when Vic came back. Was that the first time he met her?
No, I met her.
Victorless had met Ripley before because he made the deal with the
Right.
guns. I can't quite remember if you were all there or not.
No, we were in. I think we were in a different shop. I think
Yeah.
the three of us were in the magic shop, and then Vic ran over to the blacksmith to see about selling the guns to them, and in exchange to get gold for the manual of quickness of action.
Right, yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, no, you guys, the three of you, Temple, Corlina, and Atari, you don't know who this Dr. Ripley is. Victorless is the only one who knows. But is there anything else that I can help you with while you're down here?
Not for me.
The rest of you?
No, it's all right. Yeah, Doctor, it might be a strange one, but it looks like she well, we might have done something to get into a tiny little bit of trouble last time we were here. And Mrs. Ripley, Doctor Ripley, she seems to have, I don't know, paid off the law or something for us.
Aye.
Is she good sorts or what? You said you're not friends, so
From what I can tell, she's a good frenemy. She'll do whatever she can to make sure that you're in her pocket. So if she needs you, she can use that against you. So
it's nice to be needed, I suppose.
I just watch out with her though. I think she's up to no good with whatever it is she's doing.
Probably something to do with those pizzles.
Those what?
Pizzles, they're like a mechanism, some scientific thing she's working on.
He just looks at you like, okay. I'm gonna get your ale now. Yeah, I knew she was weird, but fuck. He just turns around and walks into the back and is a way to prepare you if your ale for delivery. What are you guys doing now?
Well, Natari, if you are planning to fly off in search of the horses, then what better starting point than up there?
Yeah. There's a decent window to fly from. Yeah, but I need beer inside me first. I mean, it's must be sort of. It's quite a distance. I need to get my strength up, and it might be quite a cold night, so a bit of a one for the wing. Is that the phrase you use? I mean, there's no way you guys can accompany me. I mean, nobody else can change into an animal, can they? You could, you could polymorph someone, and they could accompany me.
It only lasts for like an hour.
Well, if they're polymorphed into a bird, I think it'll only take about an hour. You know, a day's horse travel can be done in an hour by a bird.
I won't be able to.
Maybe.
I would like Nefsari to go ahead and actually roll me a nature check. Because you assume that, but you don't know. 12, I mean, as far as you're aware, and it's the higher you are, the more distance you cover, right? So it could only take an hour or so, maybe.
Birds are fast.
Within an hour, they'll just drop.
I mean, you'd have to make sure that you're flying low for the last sort of 5 minutes or so. I mean, depending on how good your timekeeping is for the last sort of 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. Or just make sure you're landed, because I suppose if you're flying along at 3 times the speed of a horse, low to the ground, and then suddenly you turn back into yourself, that's going to be messy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I know you don't like it, but I think Barclay is the safest option.
Yeah. Just thinking, you know that spell which you cast, and it makes it so that me and Barclay can understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to cast that for the journey or anything, you know. So you could save your spell slots.
I mean, I think as a bird, he'd still be able to understand you.
Yeah, but it might just be better if I can't understand him. No, actually, that'd be bad.
I mean, if you want to be able to understand him, that's fine. He understands he understands Orin, or yeah, he understands Orin and Common, but like he just doesn't speak Common.
What? Because he's too good for it. Something knowing him.
No, it's no, he just doesn't speak it. Most. Do I know if most avian creatures speak Orin?
Go ahead and roll me a nature check, and I will actually give you advantage with this because of your air elemental history. 17. Surprisingly, no. Most animals that are that most avians just don't have the intelligence to speak. They're sapient, but they're not sentient, so they don't really have the means of proper communication or anything like that. So, like mundane, well, I say mundane, but like generic avian creatures, chickens, seagulls, crows, all that sort of stuff. Even though they may show intelligence, they don't really have a means of speaking or communicating.
Well, I mean, Barkley is a special case considering he is a familiar, and I mean, him and I both grew up speaking, Orin, so, I don't know if you know this, but like going from primordial to common actually is quite a hard jump, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there are birds that speak. Parrots can mimic speech quite well, can't they?
But that's mimicry. It's completely different. They don't have the context of what's going on, right?
Wonder if I could goad him into actually speaking common.
Do you know what I've just done?
I don't know. He usually doesn't speak common around me. We mostly speak Orin. Or telepathically. Again, because he's a familiar.
So, I think for this journey, rather than a swift, I might turn myself into a parrot. An African grey, something like that.
How fast can a parrot fly?
Probably as fast as a hawk.
It would probably be about the same, mechanically speaking, because there's no real stats for like a parrot. It'll probably be the same as like a bloodhawk.
Neftari, how far exactly is it that you need to travel?
Oh, about 11 miles.
And that's a necessary travel?
Well, to get the horses back. I mean, if we don't get the horses back, then they'll be left in the middle of nowhere. They were near the farm with the Minotaur, weren't they? Unless we could get a message to them, perhaps to look for the horses by the cave where the creatures come from. That might be an idea.
Couldn't you reason with the horses? Tell them to go home.
Yeah, if we could speak to them, but
I'm sure that's something you can do.
Well, I could if I was there, but
I believe in you.
Well, that's assuming that the horses haven't been killed by the steel predators at this point.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't you use your spell or someone's spell that permits speaking to animals, then at the same time use a spell that permits speaking to animals telepathically from a distance? I'm sure they'd be certainly willing to listen to the ghostly voice in their heads.
Yeah, I'm not sure there is such a spell, but if anybody could remember the name of the farmer or the Minotaur that we saw over there, I could contact them via a dream and ask them to look for the horses and hold them until we can get there or something.
Would we know the out of character? I remember the name of the farmhand. Would Coralina remember his name?
You can go ahead and roll me a history check.
Okay.
I've got some notes sent out. Probably wrote it down.
22.
22. The farmer's name was Calvin. His wife's name was Catelyn, and the farmhand was Fenrir. Yes.
Oh yeah, Fenrir the Minotaur, right?
Nah, that's it. I cast my dream spell. I talked to him tonight. Do Minotaurs speak? Sleep?
I guess. I mean, I thought most things sleep until I met Temple, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, that'll be an idea. Send a message ahead just to look for them.
Horses have couldn't gotten far, right?
Sorry, what was that?
I mean,
If it's really important, I could perhaps go and look for them myself, so I can transform into a form that permits faster running speed, and I don't suffer exhaustion from lack of sleep, so I could run all night. But I don't really know what I do with myself, to be honest. I don't quite like being alone.
Well, it's possible we could all go, because we don't know what we're going to run into at the other end. Those steel predators could still be there, and there might be a demon there that might have eaten the horses. And
Coralina, are you able to teleport?
Not there specifically, because like I said, there's no rune code to necessarily go back to. It would burn a lot. It would. Let's see. I'm opening up my spell book and flipping through it. So let's see. There's. So. Well. I can burn a couple of spell slots and we could all technically go there. But it would be quite a long process, because I would have to do it again every 10 minutes.
Oh, I see. Perhaps there would be a more opportune time to do this later.
These horses, assume that they have a good homing instinct. What are the chances that they've made their way back on their own accord?
DM, I'm going to try and, just off the top of my head, calculate the exact chances of that.
Go ahead and roll me a nature check at disadvantage. Disadvantage. Roll again. Take the lower of the options.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They'd probably get scooped up by bandits or something on the road. You know, everyone wants to claim, 4 good horses. Just they're worth a fortune. That's why I hired them. And what was the fine if we didn't get the horses back? Did they actually say? I mean, I don't really care about the fine.
DM, is my information good or bad?
On a 10 temple, you calculated that if the horses were to, have a good a homing sense of returning back to whence they came, and they just moved at a normal pace without stopping to rest and taking a few hours of grazing and getting lost or picked up by any other beings or harassed or eaten by animals or running into adverse weather conditions, or maybe getting lost. Probably a few weeks.
Hungry.
Yeah, this ain't Red Dead Redemption. Go home, Bessie.
Yeah, there's no like it's not like Ghost of Tsushima where you're just like whistle and your horse like apparates in from the side of you into existence and is just there. But
I happen to know that some creatures, such as birds, which are very similar to horses, in fact they are warm-blooded, can return home off of their own volition. I suspect our horse friends are trotting away on home as we speak. Nothing to worry about.
Oh God, they've already been eaten by wolves, haven't they?
Oh, goodness, no. Wolves can't fly.
Right. Does nobody else care about the horses? I mean, it's not really fine. I'm bothered about. It's only Vic they'll arrest for taking horses and taking them somewhere where they got eaten and not fetching them back. But I mean, they could die.
I mean, if you want to go back for them, that's fine. And like I said, if you wanted to be quick, which you suggested, I did offer my advice of Barkley going with you. Like I said, if you want to not be able to not be able to understand him, that's perfectly okay. I won't cast that spell on you. However, you guys as birds would probably be able to at least communicate with each other. I just offered as it's an extra set of eyes. And my spell that enabled flight only lasts for about 10 minutes, so I would have to constantly stop, reapply the spell, and so on and so forth. And for doing so, I would have to manipulate the weave and exert more kinds of force for each person that I also enable flight to.
Ah, so how fast can we actually fly with the fly spell? Not as fast as bird, surely. Birds are pointy and we're kind of looks at tempo. Not pointy.
not to prioritize our time over that of but the common non-adventuring man, but could we pay someone to do this for us, a courier to go to the location where we know these are and bring them back on ropes, riding one of them? And seems like that wouldn't be too expensive considering how much we have.
Huh.
And then we could get on with the things that we do.
You're right. That will be a better solution.
Mm-hmm. Have to find somebody that wants to take the job.
Yeah, we'll see if when he fetches that ale up, whether he knows anyone that could be hired.
Victoralis, take this chalk and write "help wanted" on my face.
No, there's really better places to apply for help. Well, no, we'll ask. What was it called? That the barman.
Chicard.
Chicard. We'll ask Chicard when he fetches the beer up. He's bound to know someone trustworthy. We could end up with anyone just writing "help wanted."
Seems reasonable. I mean, certainly not intending to go anywhere. We're waiting on news of a meeting with the Lord and Lady of WhiteStone. So, much as I feel bad for the horses, I think that takes priority.
Well, like I said, I've offered my take of things. If you want to go with what I first suggested, that's fine. If you want to go with the second option I suggested, that's fine as well. Just let me know.
It's about this time that the door to the tower slowly swings open and Chicard comes stumbling in up the stairs with a couple of flasks in one hand and several tankards in the other, and approaches the table of the common area of the tower and sets them down and just glances at all of you. Well, there's your ale. If there is anything else that you require of me before I go.
Chicard,
Aye.
you may be able to help us with a small dilemma. You see, we're out on an excursion. We rented some fine horses from the local stables. Fortunately, they were startled while we were otherwise engaged, and we lost track of them. We're concerned with their safety, and we wonder whether one of your patrons may have the skills as a tracker or animal handler that may be able to retrieve them for us.
Go ahead and roll me a deception check real quick.
2.
Startled, eh? Well, horses can be a bit jumpy at times when there are sudden loud noises. But
Scary one. That sort of thing, yep.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's an associate to the Adventurers Guild of Tal'Dorei somewhere in the Common World. I could put a word out to one of my patrons to see if there's anyone in the Adventurers Guild that are looking to make a name for themselves or a bit of coin, whatever you're offering, for someone to go and collect these horses for you.
I'll count out 25 gold. Well, consider that a deposit if they're found and returned safely.
So you're
Obviously, that'll
offering 50 gold, half up front and half upon the retrieval of the 4 horses, aye?
Maybe a little bonus involved, depending on the success of the endeavour.
Well, do you think that's enough money to convince a young lad to go out there or what?
If they're like a young lad or lass that's looking to start making a name for themselves in this cold, decrepit area of the continent, then aye, probably. 50 plus gold can take you a long way. So I'll take this. Takes the 25, pockets it, and I'll make some kind of advertisement that I'll pass on to a contact that'll hopefully be in touch about getting your horses back.
Yeah, we'd do it ourselves, obviously, but we have more important things to do at the moment. And
Yeah,
look,
it looks like
fine.
it. Yeah,
Help myself to a
he
large
says-
tankard of ale.
Yeah, you got just lean over and pick up a tankard of ale and start drinking. He's like, aye, much more important things to do.
Open, so good stuff.
When did this become a tycoon game?
Since session 1.
Yeah, we're doing too good now to go and retrieve our horses. We'll just pay some little.
Can you just imagine every quest that comes our way? We just make a job
Right,
posting.
we've got the gold to
anything.
throw away at some other random adventurer. Let's just have them deal with it. We'll just pay people to do it for us. Why not? I mean, this is some shitty mundane fetch quest. Any common person could do that.
We'll pay 1 platinum so whoever convinced Coralina's dad to join a war. Oh dear.
Alright, so with that, Shakad does leave the room. You guys are now alone in the tower. I see a dog butt. Yeah, so what are you guys wanting to do?
I'm going to make myself comfortable, enjoy my ale.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy waiting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if we're just sitting here waiting, I'll crack open that divination book I got from Ados and see what kind of cool spells I can find in there that I can potentially copy down. Or at least, copy down.
Do you need help with your spell book? I can check for spells for you. I could be a spell checker.
I mean, if you want, just start naming out spells that sound interesting, and I'll let you know if I have them or not. Reach in the bag of holding, get out some blank pieces of parchment, fold a couple of them in half. Here, you can use those like bookmarks.
Ooh. DM, how do we do this? I'm gonna look through a book and look for interesting spells that Coralina might like. Which basically is the same thing she'd be doing, but on my roll. So if I screw up.
Um,
But I'm
so-
helping, that's the important thing.
What's that? This sounds interesting.
Maybe as a
So-
paladin,
so,
that there
hold
might be
on.
that kind of spell. Like
Carolina,
healing stuff,
what is it you're doing right now? Sorry, I was rolling and counting it and trying to do math.
Well, Temple wanted to be helpful, so I handed Temple the divination book that I got from Ados, and I told Temple that any interesting spells that he finds in there, let me know, and I'm gonna check through my spell book and see if I have them or not.
Okay. What we'll say then is Temple. You
That's me.
can roll me an Arcana check at disadvantage.
Arcana checks are always at disadvantage. Before you even write the dis part, see? Both of them low rolls. Fireball sounds interesting.
Okay. Roll me a d4, please, Temple.
Oh no, what have I done?
Two. Okay. So, one that you do spot immediately is fuck. Sorry, I'm trying. No, I'm trying to read it. Like, I looked at a spell and was like, yeah, this. No, wait, that's not divination. Shit.
There's one here. It says, a delicious drink to make during morning breakfast. Divinity.
I'm gonna hurt you.
Hey, I rolled a
What?
1.
No, one of them that you do see is locate object, as per the description. Describe or name an object that is familiar to you. You can sense the direction of the object's location as long as that object is within 1,000 feet of you. If the object is in motion, you know the direction of its movement. The spell can locate a specific object known to you as long as you have seen it up close, or at least within 30 feet of 30 feet at least once. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon. The spell can't locate an object of if any thickness of lead, even a thin sheet, blocks a direct path between you and the object.
Ooh, I know this one. Bookmark.
And let's take a look. See here. And the second one is, well, it kind of confuses you to begin with because it's a spell on divination and it repeats the word until it finally clicks that the actual spell is divination. Your magic and an offering put you in contact with a god or a god's servant. You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The GM offers a truthful reply. The reply might be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. The spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or the loss or gain of a companion. If you cast a spell 2 more times before finishing your next long rest, there is a cumulative 25% chance for each casting after the first that you get a random reading. The GM makes this roll in secret. So get locate object and divination. If you don't have either of them, you can add them to your spellbook, Carolina.
Awesome. I'll do just that. Thank you, Temple.
I
that-
knew you'd
I
like
don't-
these spells.
Well, I'm pretty familiar with locate object, but I just don't have it. I had a habit of losing things when I was younger, so Nassim was quite helpful.
Well, now you can use locate object, just like Temple. And, just like Temple, if that fails, you could probably contact Narul and ask him for a special bit of help.
I can cast that. I never have done, but I can.
What, locate object?
No, divination.
Oh.
It involves contacting the gods, though, and you know what they're like. So,
Actually, no. I never contacted a god. I don't.
well, why do you think you never see me speaking to them?
Well, I have some very strong opinions about the ones you should and shouldn't be contacting.
Okay,
Like Narul. He rules.
okay.
That one's not even on a sticky note, that. I suppose there are other gods you could contact. I suppose it depends what you want out of your conversation with a god. I suppose there are certain contexts in which you may not need to speak to Nerul. Perhaps you need to speak to a god in relation to a matter of a different religious nature. When the time comes, I'll let you know which god could probably help you out best.
Okay. So when it means a god's servant, like, does that mean like people that serve the god?
I don't know that, DM, but I don't know if I would know that or not. I'm trying to be helpful,
Go
but I
ahead
don't know
and-
if Temple would know that.
Go ahead and roll me a religion check.
A religion check.
Da.
Relig.
Really, 13. As far as you're aware, a god's servant could be someone such as a paladin, a cleric, a father of a chapel, just a random follower. It's just someone who serves said god.
Okay, so a contact line for paladins. Okay, got it.
Potentially, yes. Or perhaps a cleric. I suppose, again, it depends on what kind of god you're trying to speak to, what kind of person comes ahead and tries to help you.
Well, so far, you're like the first paladin I know. The other guy, the guy who brought me back from the dead, Aaron. He's the other one.
What happened to Aaron anyway?
I don't know. We kind of left before anything really happened.
The last you know, he was still in Stillman.
We'll revisit, no doubt. We have plenty of business on this continent.
Well, if you have that spell, surely you can just speak to him in person.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't find Sending though. That was the main book I had Ados go for to see if it was in there.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I was quite focused on divinity spells. I got very excited about teaching you divination and who locate objects. Just wonderful, you know. For example, if you lose this book, which I'm going to give back to you so that I don't lose it.
Thank you.
Well, random fact. Sending isn't a divination spell. Sending is evocation.
Really? That's
Yep.
really fun.
Yeah, I know. I would have thought it'd be a divination spell, but no, sending is evocation. So that's why I was going through the divination spells, like, where the fuck is sending? And then looked up sending. It's like, oh,
That's weird. That's evocation spell.
yeah,
Why is
it's
it an evocation spell?
spell.
Well, I mean,
Oh well.
if it's not here, I can always, try to look around and see if somebody has a scroll for it in a shop, maybe. I can get that handled while we're here.
We've had quite good luck in the past with attaining scrolls. Not a bad idea. It's been a while since we went shopping.
I mean, if we're waiting on what Dr. Rip Ripley, Vic? Is that her name?
Yeah, Dr. Ripley. I mean, I don't know how long she's going to take. Could be hours, could be days. Figured I'd make myself comfortable until I hear some news.
Well, so that's why you were drunk under a tree.
I don't think that's the best way to conduct business.
No,
Well-
I think he's onto the right track there. That's probably what I would have done.
I wasn't conducting business, I was killing time.
Ah.
Drunk under a tree with butterflies flying around your head.
Victoralis, I simply must insist that you don't kill time. We all need that. Goodness gracious me.
Yeah,
Temple doesn't know idioms.
the phrasing possibly a little confusing there, Temple, but wasn't planning to.
That's one
actually
thing I can't bring back from the dead.
Kill time. Take another big chug on a on some ale.
Sake.
Just chewing with awkward silence and just chewing.
So, what happened up at the castle there? Now we're in private. We can actually ask you. Was it bad? I mean, so bad that I mean, yeah. What's Dr. Ripley like?
Well, as our barkeeper friend has suggested, she is a little odd, but her studies are really quite interesting.
And why did she pay off the guards? Last time we were here, we were all wanted, and now we're scot free. The guards even recognised us. Yeah, they didn't attack or anything. What's going on? Are they setting us up for a trap or something? Or what's...
We've reached an agreement. The pistols that I sold her before required ammunition, and something that I kept with me just in case.
So she has the ammunition now,
Paid me quite handsomely for it as well.
but she has the ammunition now, so there's no reason for her to protect us anymore.
Well, most of it, and I'll take out the handful of bullets and things that I kept.
Capped. Mm-hmm.
Regardless, adventurers such as us who get around about the place, you know, we come across things like this. Although one thing does confuse me, and perhaps we'd gotten wires crossed at some point, but I could have sworn the one who sent us over to WhiteStone said that it's believed that these contraptions were created in WhiteStone, and yet we've gotten here, and it seems to be they don't exist up here.
Oh, I was treated to a tour of her workshop. I can assure you that, her work's progressing quite considerably, and they are very much being created here. Some quite interesting developments from what I saw.
What? So she just studies these things?
Yeah, she showed me one of these pistols that could fire projectiles from a rotating barrel.
What
Quite
need would you
effective
have of that? Surely the accuracy would be terrible.
Oh,
But the awesomeness would...
I didn't get the opportunity to try one myself, but as I understand it, the accuracy and damage potential of these weapons is quite extreme. Much more efficient than an arrow or a crossbow.
Oh, I believe we led the hard way, getting a few of them used in our direction. Really quite incredible. You don't even see the arrow fly.
Well, this is it, and I'll hold up one of the kind of bullets that I've kept. They're so small, you wouldn't see them coming, and yet
Imagine it coming at such speed that it pierces the very flesh. I'm sure there are spells like that, but my goodness, someone without an aptitude in magic being able to potentially kill people at a long distance without even being seen, perhaps, if far away enough.
Yeah. Hence me, hopefully, gaining a little bit of trust from the doctor, and
Yeah, hopefully. Or she's got what she wants now, and the guards will be beating the door down at some point tonight. Oh dear.
well,
I mean, we can easily get out of here. I mean,
if we're to recruit assistants in the fight back home, then we have to take a few chances, and if they can wield these weapons, then surely that will set us as an advantage of sorts.
But also, I really would like to get to the bottom of this werewolf mystery. If I understand correctly, we ourselves seem to prove innocence of a gentleman that was hung before our very eyes.
No, it didn't.
Or at least there was foul play, as far as we're aware.
It was strange circumstances, but I don't think we actually could ascertain he was innocent. I mean,
It was worth...
We went to his house and it was full of bodies.
Yes, does that not seem suspicious? That they'd just be left out like that.
DM, can I ask a question? How long was it? How many days has it been since the execution?
Since the execution, it's been about a week.
Okay, thank you.
You know,
And
there was... Sorry, go on.
Oh, the gentleman's name was Diego, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
No, there was some... Temple sort of leads forward here as to not speak too loudly, even though we're in our own quarters. There was some speculation that this might be a conspiracy of sorts that goes quite high in the local denizens of WhiteStone. And I would wonder why it would want to be dropped so easily, as such that we, as strangers to the town coming into this house, are simply dropped of suspicion. It's almost like the people in charge would perhaps rather have this be a matter left in the past, with the man presumed a guilty criminal and it just ignored. If I was a justice pursuing member of the Guard's Watch, I wouldn't just let this be dropped. It does reek of suspicion and conspiracy. Exciting.
Well, if I get what I'm hoping for and Ripley comes through on her promises, then we might well be able to ask the good Lord and Lady of WhiteStone ourselves. All I can do now is wait and see.
I'd like to speak to her myself, actually, as someone who is somewhat mechanically inclined. Perhaps she may know about my own race, may know about my own capabilities. I am a constructed being, of course.
I'm sure she'd take great interest in your construction, Temple. Whether that be good or bad, I'm not sure, but it would certainly be of interest.
I could certainly lend a hand, although not physically. I don't believe these are detachable. Temple just looks at his hands, rotating them, then looks over to someone else's hands. Not removable.
There was the werewolf issue, wasn't there? There was that werewolf I ate. Not werewolf. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he suddenly remembers the demon, but he doesn't want to talk about that right now. Yeah, I'm just going to read my book on Beast Hide.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys are doing? for the rest of the evening?
No, I'm gonna enjoy the ale, make myself comfortable. Just literally waiting for something to happen now.
All right. So the rest of the evening goes by with no further interaction. Jacquard comes up and down and provides you guys further ales and an evening meal. Does inform you that he did in fact get contacted by a young lad within WhiteStone, who took the 25 gold and is now on his way out to the southwest to try and find your horses and bring them back, even though it could be quite perilous. No idea when the boy will be back, but he's taken it upon himself to do so. And there's been no word from Dr. Ripley. It does push on well late into the evening, so if you'd all like to, you can take a long rest, restore hit points, spell slots, lay on hands, wild shapes, all that jazz.
Before Betty Bops, Temple would like to make a short prayer to have this boy, this newfound adventurer, go out and be brought home to safety.
Go ahead and roll me a religion check. 6. There's no response, but you know that Nerul may work in different ways than normal gods, so you can assume that Nerul will watch over this boy as he goes on his jaunt down to the southwest.
I have one thing before bed. Just going up to the room that I had before.
Mm-hmm.
Am I followed?
I don't know. Are you?
Barty looks at Neftari.
I guess, yeah, I suppose so.
It's all you, whether you follow or not.
Yeah, I guess you would follow her up to bed. They've become quite close, haven't they? So,
Okay.
All right. Well, with everything and with everything and all the developments and all that, I kind of don't want to think right now. Do you want to fly away in the clouds with me?
what's that? A fly in the clouds? Cool. All right. Hell yeah. I assume, what, are you going as Barclay or yourself? What?
Oh, that doesn't translate.
You can turn into a bird, can't you? Or...
Go ahead and roll me an insight check, please, Neftari. As you hear Coralina mumble, "Oh, that doesn't translate right." On an 18. Yeah. A fly away in the clouds with me. She's asking for a roll in the hay instead.
Oh.
As the penny drops.
There you go.
As like you're considering, like, yeah, fly in the clouds. I can. She can polymorph herself, and I can wild shit. Oh wait, why is she looking at me like that? Why is she glancing at the bed? Right. So I'm assuming that's a yes from both of you.
Sure.
She asked.
Well, yeah, she asked, so it's a yes from Neftari. Cool. Both of you go ahead and roll me performance checks. As we fade to black on the two of you. Temple, is there anything that you're doing in the meantime?
Can I hear goats?
Probably goats.
Uh,
Bah.
19 and 9. Surprisingly, no. No weird sounds or like the sounds of goats coming from
Like last
Coralina's
time.
bedroom, like last time. But yeah, is there anything in particular you want to do before long rest?
Nope. Temple's good. Are we good, Vic?
Yeah, I'm just going to be sort of lounged back in a chair, checking my arrows, making sure they're nice and sharp, keeping
Mhm.
myself occupied.
Doing dad
before I-
things.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, doing your dad things. As you take eventually, are you going to meditate in the tower this time, or are you going to do like you're going to go back up to your room, or what's up? You're just going to meditate where you are.
No, yeah, I'm staying put.
All right. Cool. And
Vic's,
stay in the common room, and once you're satisfied that your bow is still up to par, your arrows are properly fletched, and the heads are sharp and ready to go, you sit down and like you set yourself up for your meditation and meditate for 4 hours, and everyone gets your long rest. So go ahead and long rest on D&D Beyond. Once again, 4 hours go by. Victorless, you wake up first. Are you doing anything in the meantime, in the interim, or are you just going to wait for the others?
Vic's pretty content at the moment. He's expecting something. He doesn't know when or why he's got an expectation of it, but he is happy to wait for the time being.
Okay. Then another 2 hours go by, and Temple, we're on to you. It's been 6 hours. Your long rest has completed from your sentry's rest. Is there anything in particular you would like to do first thing in the morning before Nethtari and Coralina wake up?
Yeah, I'll have a quick chat with Vic. Victoralis, are you? Sorry, go ahead.
That's right. I can wait.
Are you familiar with this kind of shield, Victoralis? And I'm going to show my arrow catching shield.
No, not familiar with shields particularly myself.
Not perhaps as something for you to use yourself, but something to look out for in the field, given that you're a man of the bow. I figure it's something you should watch for, because someone with this shield, I've found in my own practicing, has a rather easy time of catching arrows out of the air. It might be something to look out for in future and maybe change your targeting tactics appropriately.
Victoralis, can you just quickly go ahead and roll me a Arcana check while you're looking at the shield that Temple's just kind of displayed to you? 24. Yeah, no, like you've heard of these kind of shields before. Essentially, out of game for your knowledge, it's a basic +2 shield, but at any time you're being attacked by a range attack, it becomes a +4 to your AC, so you gain a +2 AC against ranged attacks. And if someone makes a ranged attack against someone that's within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to essentially jump in the way of the attack and try and catch the arrow with your shield, so you can choose to become the target instead. So yeah, that's the mechanics of the shield. So you've heard of these shields before, but since you've started, training with your bow and becoming extremely proficient with it, you've never actually come across one before.
Perhaps we could spar and practice at some point, Victoralis, but what I really need to draw your attention to is when you're using your bow, perhaps target people with a different kind of shield. Because this really is quite a strong advantage against your primary source of damage.
I'll bear it in mind, Temple. However, given that you have that shield, does it protect you from more than just arrows?
It does work on any kind of ranged attack. But of course, that may not necessarily apply to area of effect attacks. It depends. I would pick the shield based on the the apparent situation I'm in. If I see a lot of people with bows and the like, I would equip this shield. However, against regular attacks, it's not doesn't quite have the stopping power of my other shield.
But should we find ourselves on the wrong end of one of these pizzles, would it work?
I believe so. It's something that really does help with ranged attacks. It's really in the maneuverability. I would suspect, and just to check with the DM. Is that yes?
Yeah, it's a ranged attack, so yeah, it would be able to catch a bullet. It'll work against like ranged spells as well, because it's just a ranged attack. So
if you ever feel like you might need it, just give me a nod in combat, and away we go. But I'll typically keep it strapped to my back for quick access, so I can switch out between my shields during combat.
It may come in handy. We still don't know exactly what we're dealing with in WhiteStone, but things turn for the worse, then might just save our skins.
Seems like enough. Yeah.
I start to draw my two short swords from the sheath at the side.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I do have these. Spin them round and sheath them back into their scabbards.
All right. Well, with that, the next 2 hours go by. Corlina and Neth'Tari, you guys do a wake up after your somewhat long rest. The rest of your two companions are waiting for you downstairs. Is there anything you guys want to do before you reconvene? That preferably doesn't involve Victoria, since he's just disappeared quickly.
Yeah. Probably just flip through that divination book again at that bookmark of divination. I don't know what Temple was talking about. I can't learn this.
How come? What?
Well, there are specific spells for specific individuals. For example, myself, I get more from the theory and, signing the somatic components itself. Because I am not more inclined to more of the religious magic of, like, temple or other clerics and such. I'm incapable of learning that spell because I don't really have a need to communicate or really talk to gods.
Yeah, I've known the spell forever, and I've never felt the need to cast it. Gods scare me, right? They're just creepy.
Coralina, can I ask you to quickly roll me an Arcana check?
Of course.
I mean, I could cast it if I had to. I'm sure I could, but
29.
Wow.
That's smart.
Oh, what I will say, because you are not an atheist, but you just, you don't follow.
I really bothered the gods, and they haven't bothered me.
Yeah, you don't follow any religious practice. I will allow you to take the divination spell into your spell book. However,
It won't let me D&D Beyond.
Will it not?
No, sir.
Okay, well, it just says cleric, circle of the land, circle of the forest, circle of the grassland. Right. Keep a note of this, but I will still allow you to cast divination. But depending on the offering, you will have to make an offering to a god. It doesn't matter what god it is, but you will, if you make an offering to a god, you
Okay.
will be able to cast a spell. However, as is with Wish, when you cast a spell, I will give you essentially going to be a 50% chance of whether you'll be able to cast the spell again or not. Okay?
Okay.
So
Noted.
it won't count towards your spell slots. So when you cast this, it won't actually use a 4th level spell slot because you may never be able to cast it again.
Yeah, it'd be a ritual thing.
Yeah, it'll be a ritual, but upon contact with this god, with a god, whichever god it may be, they may just choose to never receive from you again. Okay?
Okay.
So you don't actually have a god, do you?
No. I mean, like, as a whole, the Orin Plain is, well, at least the spot where I was from, Talos was usually revered. But that's just because storms and such, and you don't piss off somebody that can conjure storms and can wipe out your town.
As not in the air, the plane of Genasi. The what do they call it? The Oran plane, is it?
Orin, yes.
I could be a god. I mean, what is a god apart from a normal person who's got followers? You could be my first follower, and then the more followers I get, the more powerful a god I'll be. We could convince the whole plane to worship Neftari as a just and god.
Time to get that quest line written.
All powerful. Is that not how they make gods?
I don't know how they make gods, honestly. But so how was your so how did you enjoy summoning an elemental for the first time?
It was okay. I mean, I lost control of it almost straight away.
Obvious.
Sorry?
It was obvious.
Well, I would lose control straight away.
No, that you lost control.
Yeah, I guess it takes a bit of practice to get that right. Then does it?
Yeah. You can tell if an elemental is within your control. Its eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
What, it looks at you like it trusts you, or?
There's more of like a slight sheen to it when it's under your control. It's not necessarily a fog per se, but there's a little bit of a sheen to the eyes when it's under your control, such as with Gale or Cliff. Yours didn't have the sheen to it, so it was obvious that you lost control. It does take a lot of practice to maintain control, though.
So perhaps I should conjure them more often and just talk to them. How do you not talk to them? You can't really talk to them, can you?
I mean, I could help you talk to them, but yeah, if you sit and bond with them, I mean, Gale and Cliff were not my original ones, but I mean, like, I picked them first, and they were just randomly given to me by who was available at the time, and I kind of forged a little bit of a contract with them, and they come whenever I need help. I haven't summoned this other one yet that I have in my spell book. If you want, I can show you how it's done.
What, and summon it now?
Now, or downstairs, whenever.
Well, maybe show me tonight. You never know what trouble we'll get into today, and I might need spell slots. This Dr. Ripley could be trouble. I don't trust her, but sorry. You think so too?
Well, I've never met her, so I don't know per se. But she is seemingly a scholar in some respects, so I can at least respect that. But like I said, most of my family is scholars, and there are certain ones I do and do not trust.
Yeah. I made a contract with a demon because I thought he was a scholar and therefore trustworthy. But as it turns out, oops.
Well, I mean, well, I was there when you made the contract. But for what you just offered your name, right?
I signed the contract.
Yeah, but he was able to have, because when we were fighting, the first round before we retreated,
I think what
he
Dom
tried to
said
get in
is
my
he would
head.
prefer-
2 seconds, guys. It's Dakota.
Oh no, that's fine. No, he's on a work call. Don't mind him. But yeah, he kind of the demon crept into my head and tried to influence me.
But you managed
So-
to resist, so
Yeah, I managed that time. I don't know if he'll attempt again or what. So
Guys, I'm gonna go ahead
if
and
at
allocate us
the,
a conference line and let's
if
get this
at-
conversation.
if at the time where it
I'll
comes
let you
where
get your thought
I
process in here
am
just a second.
turned against any of you guys, there probably has to be a reason, not necessarily a reason, but a method to probably render me unconscious.
oh god, this doesn't bear thinking about. Are you not scared that I could turn into a demon at some point and turn on you guys?
We prefer the conference
I already
line
know
over
how to take you
WebEx
out, don't
because then
worry.
People can dial into it.
Oh. Oh, that's great.
Well, I mean, you're close to mid-range fighter. All I have to do is counteract your spells, find a way around, a method to get around your wild shaping abilities, and then, in a sense, render you unconscious. Sorry, it's old habits.
You thought
Father-
quite a lot about this itself, but
I mean, Dad used to say, always make a plan to kill everyone you meet.
okay. I'm going for breakfast now. I thought I was the bad one.
I mean, I haven't acted on it.
Good.
I'm sorry. I thought that I haven't acted on it, and I have not divulged said information. I'll go
Does
down for breakfast.
Sir Barkley know?
No,
Oh.
because him and I are in an odd spot at the moment because he lied.
No, yeah, there was supposed to be 7 of those beasts waiting for us outside the mansion. We could have
Yes.
escaped. We could have had a. Yes.
Yeah.
that was-
Well, it's mostly because I threatened that if he didn't want to go out and do it because he was too scared, I told him you would do it.
Yeah. Okay. I admit, perhaps we are going to have to sort out these problems between us. Perhaps we should have had a nice long flight last night together and a chat as we. Well,
He's
too late.
at my beck and call, so I mean, maybe
Let's not do it now.
no, not now, no.
No. Well, one day,
let's-
maybe.
Yeah, eat first, yeah.
One day, sometime, maybe.
All right, so you guys making your way down for some breakfast, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, you make your way down. Victorious and Temple are already there in the common room, just waiting out for the time being. But it is about this time when there is a very audible knocking sound that kind of reverberates through the entire tower. Seems to originate from the door that leads into the tower. A few moments go by and the door swings open. Shakad kind of pokes his head in. Morning then. Are you all ready for your breakfast order?
Absolutely, I'm starving.
Perfect. Just wait here. I'll get everything set up for you and bring it all up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Everything
Yeah.
okay, Shikard?
Aye. Everything's fine. Just wait here.
I'd like to. I'm not sure. He seems slightly awkward to me.
What do you want to do?
Can I assess if I think he's acting unusually?
Do you want to roll an insight check?
Yeah, I think so.
Then go ahead and roll me an insight check. I will point this out of game. If at any time I am talking as an NPC and you think something's not right, just say you want to roll an insight check.
Okay, I was trying to like role
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah, but I understand that. But if you like mechanically speaking, if you want to roll an insight check, you can always remember you can always ask to roll for something. So you don't have to like say, "Oh, I want to assess their, body language and facial features." Just say, "Can I roll an insight check?" I'm not going to shout and scream at you. The only time I'll shout and scream at you is if you roll something when I don't ask you for it. But if you ask beforehand, then 9 times out of 10 I'll let you roll it. But yes, an insight on 17. Yeah, he's never come up. Like the last few times that you were here, he didn't come up to ask you for your breakfast. He waited for you to come down and order it and then brought it up to you. And the way he's kind of emphasizing that you stay here, you can clearly tell that something's not right. Before he slowly turns around and closes the door behind him, sorry, and disappears back downstairs.
Well, he's never done that before. Something
Maybe
unusual.
it's-
We got
I don't know.
Something doesn't
I should-
feel right.
I should probably disclose something to you guys first. Do you guys remember that whole thing with the demon and that he knows my name?
Yep.
He tried to creep into my head when we were fighting that last time, and I didn't like it. So I think the only feasible option would be you guys should know how to render me unconscious in case he tries to influence me. Because I kind of know how to take you guys all out strategically.
Juan, can you hear me?
That's very sensible of you. I'm more than anything mortified that he was able to try and gain control of you. Is there surely not some way we can prevent that happening without killing him?
I mean, I was able to resist the first time, but I think should I not be able to resist, the appropriate action would be, since I am primarily a long-range combatant, get up close and personal and render me unconscious that way. Preferably not hideously maiming me,
Who
please and thank
from
you.
Your team is able to.
All these have got a blunt end, I guess. Got my short swords just looking at the bottom of the hilt.
I'd like to say you can count on me, but I'm not sure you can.
I don't think I have it in me to punch you in the head. Although that's how it'd happen.
I mean, either a blow to the head, or you can't really. I mean, I'd prefer not strangulation to render me unconscious because that's a little bit painful.
I have some experience non-lethally attacking people. That's not going to be a problem, but really this is quite morbid talk and not something that's fun to talk about.
I know, but it's a contingency plan nonetheless. You always have to have a contingency plan. For example, if you guys were all terrible, like I said, I just point at Vic first. Vic is a mostly mid to long range combatant. The way I would get around that was just to throw magic and, render him unable to attack me and render him unconscious. Nethtari is a close to mid range combatant in himself. avoid his wild shapes and also dispel any of his magic that render him unconscious. Point at Temple. You're also strictly a close range combatant. So my strategy to deal with you would have been to force you into long range combat and also avoid your swings, such as I can with like Misty Step and other conjuration means to get myself into longer range combat and deal with you accordingly with magic.
Carolina, this is
Very sensible. Wonderful talk. We should talk strategy someday.
sensible but deliberate. What's giving you cause for concern here?
Like I said, the demon crept into my head and attempted to manipulate me.
And our friend Shakar here, you have any reason to believe that this demon is somehow involved?
I don't know. I don't know if he came up with any. I don't know if he had any inclination of that otherwise. Like I said, I had no idea the demon could be able to influence me as such until he tried to when we were fighting last.
Well, if you're worried about what exactly are you worried about here? Is it a matter of influence or something as outright as possession?
He tried to make me aim my lightning bolt at you guys.
DM, is that something that I could prevent with the protection from evil and good spell?
I'm not even going to have you roll for this. No. It's a different kind of magical manipulation.
Okay.
You're like you said, it was the protection from good and evil spell. Let me just quickly double check this.
Yeah. I suppose the reason I said possessed is because I guess it kind of depends on how you define that. If that is a status effect, then yeah, I can see that. But if anything, the best I could do is a saving throw assistance. But
yeah, she would like if you provided protection from evil and good to Coralina, she would have advantage on the saving throw to prevent her action being manipulated to the demon's will. But other than that, that's about it.
And it's not magic. I couldn't dispel magic,
No.
and I know it's not a curse.
You wouldn't be able to dispel magic or anything like that because it's
it's deeper than magic, right?
It's a much deeper thing than just a like base magical effect. This is very old magic.
However, I will share how I can be properly taken out. Counterspell is always a good maneuver for me. Also, in addition to forcing me into close range combat, because I am not as proficient with close range combat as I am with long range combat, make sure I don't summon any elementals or anything of the like. And also, yeah, like I said, the best case scenario, render unconscious. So I am unable to cast because I cannot cast if I'm unconscious. I am, but that's only a contingency. I'm probably going to try to do more research into that myself to see if there is a way of some kind of loophole or something to prevent this further.
I will definitely be assisting, but while we're sharing, I suppose I should share one of my greatest weaknesses. Temple leans forward. If you hit me like 50 times with a really big sword, that'll probably take me down. Temple leans back again.
I think we all go down after 50 hits from a sword, but thank you for sharing.
We don't know what's going on here. All I know is that he's never done that before, and there's something.
I mean, do you
about his behavior?
Do you want something like hiding? I can do something real quick.
Well, first things first. Is there an alternate route out of here?
There's
Window.
a window upstairs. I fell out of last time we were here.
If worse comes to worse, I could make a new window. Scott's eyes then just, oh shit.
Yeah, it's got some magical protections on this tower, but I mean,
if brute force isn't working, you're not using enough of it.
It might be people getting in, not necessarily people getting out.
And if he's the one getting in, with like the law with him or something, or let's have a look what's going down in the bar.
Victor Alice, what is it exactly you think our good man is up to?
I don't know, but he's never been that polite before. He's certainly never checked in on us for breakfast before. Something about the way he was talking just seems unusual. I'm just gonna check that escape route, and I'm gonna quickly scurry up to a large window, make an assessment of how far down it is, whether we could easily fit through the window.
Oh yeah, looking through the window, you could easily pass through it, but it is quite easily a 50-foot drop. So you're quite high up. Probably hurt if you were to just like shimmy out and drop, but it seems to be another way out of the tower.
Victor Alice, do you feel it might be possible that we may perhaps be wrongly arrested for something? Or
Ambushed. Maybe.
And like I said, I can summon an elemental to, hide or something like that. Because I mean, an air elemental is fine in itself. It can hide wherever. It can hide just under a door into another room, and then if something happens, I can tell it to come out. It slides out from under the door and blows him back.
Victor Alice, just in case perhaps an entire thieves guild comes through that door and has us arrested again, allow me to cast a spell on you just in case.
Okay, my first instinct isn't going to be to have ourselves cornered here, facing an unknown enemy. Something comes through that door that threatens us. Just we make ourselves scarce. Carolina, you can cast a flight spell, right?
Yep.
Get safely out of the window and down to the ground if we need to.
Of it.
I'm going to take a look at what's going on in that bar. And I'm going to cast invisibility at 2nd level.
Or we could just leave.
We don't know if there's anything wrong yet. It might just be Vic getting paranoid. I mean, I know he's never coming. Let's take a look.
2nd level, just casting it on yourself, yeah?
I think at 2nd level I can only pass it.
Well,
Cast
it's
it
one person, so you casting it on yourself or someone else?
Yeah, I'll cast it on myself, and I will
Alright.
very quietly try to sneak out through the door, down the stairs.
And roll me a stealth check. And remember, with your spiked armor, you're at disadvantage for the stealth check.
Could I cast Pass Without Trace before I roll
You
it?
can also cast Pass Without Trace, but you're still at disadvantage.
Well,
Actually, no, you cannot. You can
will.
either you can cast one or the other. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because they're both concentration spells. Invisibility and Pass Without Trace are both concentration spells, so you can cast either Invisibility or Pass Without a Trace. You can't cast them both at the same time.
Sorry. Let me give it a little hand there, because last thing we want is get caught in the middle of something here. I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace, 2nd level.
Okay. So
On the invisible Neftari.
I mean, it's just an aura around like within 30 feet of you, so you don't need. He doesn't need to see you to be able to give you the bonus.
Okay, then I'm very stealthily
Right,
going
so
to try have
you're
a.
still at disadvantage, but you do have the +10 because you're wearing disadvantage. So roll a second time and take the lower option. 25
Oh.
still.
That was-
Not bad. Yeah, no, you're able to like as you're like kind of walking away from Victorious, you can hear like the subtle clinking noise that your spiked armor is making. So you do kind of like shift the straps that bind your armor together and hold it closer to you. And as you begin slowly, you move a little bit slower, and you notice that it has dulled the sound that your armor makes as you move. Slowly make your way downstairs, and as you get to the bottom of the tower to the door leading to the tavern proper, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check. 5. As you like crack open the door and peek out of it, you open the door about. You swing it out about 10-15 inches so that you can get a proper look outside. And as you look outside, there are a bunch of guards in the tavern surrounding Shakad at the bar. You can't hear what they're saying, but they look angry. They're aggressively pointing at Shakad and then pointing upwards, assumingly towards the tower, pointing over to the door, and the guard that seems to be in charge kind of like points over to the door, and then you watch as he does like a double and triple check of the door, says something to Shakad, points back to the door, points to his men, and directs them towards the door.
Okay, then I slam the door. I try to look it from the inside.
Slam door, lock. head back up the stairs. The last thing you see before you slam the door shut is Shakad rushing out from behind the bar. You make your way back upstairs. I'm assuming you relay this information so you guys know that there are a bunch of seemingly a bunch of guards in the tavern, seemingly pissed off and looking for you.
Yep, I of course burst back into the room. Guards here, I think they're for us. We need to run quick.
Flight spells touch range, so please.
What was that?
Flight spells touch range, so you
Get
can't touch you
close.
first.
Gather up my things and move close.
And go and let
Very
Coralina
good.
touch
Towards
you.
the window.
Yay.
Yep.
I didn't say where though.
On my knee.
I touch Coralina so she can tell where I am as well. Because she can't. She's invisible, aren't I? So.
Um,
That counts.
Temple has misread this as a hugging situation.
randomly, Temple just hugs
level.
Coralina. At what level? Sorry.
It's 6th level, so it hits all 4 of us.
A 6th level hug. Wow, I am
Sixth level
impressive.
hug. Nice. So all 4 of you now can fly for the next 10 minutes with a flying speed of 60 feet.
All right, let's go.
Whee!
All right, are you guys just flying out of the window, like going upstairs to the window and then flying out down to the alley below?
You're gathered. Let's go.
Temple takes the lead, and that window gets no mercy.
I'm going to take, as we're heading up,
open window. Okay.
I am going to place How many did I keep? I kept 7. I kept 4 rifles, 7 pistol ammo. I'm going to put 1 single piece of pistol ammo down on the table in the common area,
Okay.
and then I'll follow the rest of them
All
towards
right,
the window.
cool.
I'm going to go out the window last because I'm invisible. I'm just going to see basically if all the guards come flying into the room, into the suite, and just to hear what a few of them might say
Okay.
before coming out myself.
As you watch Nitharium, Coralina Temple and Victorious hop out the window and fly down to the ground of the alley before you. You turn back and watch and wait for the inevitable door being bust open and the guards storming the room with weapons drawn and ready to attack or arrest you. And you continue to wait. And continue to wait, and nothing happens. Can I get Victorious Temple and Coralina to roll me perception checks, please?
Okay, interesting.
10, 13, 23. As you all make it to the ground, you kind of glance up and look around, thinking, "Hope Nithari is with us." As you slowly make your way down the alleyway and glance out the front to make sure the area is clear. Before you watch as the door to the Hydrozale house violently swings open, and the guards that Nithari had mentioned come flying out, one after another. Some like head over heels, some just upside down, flying backwards, landing on their backs, tumbling all over the place, just being launched out of the building. Shakad slowly steps out, his eyes glowing a pale white color. The flowing brown with hinted grey and silver hair dons his head, billowing all over the place as he steps out, a very, very large air elemental flows out from the building behind him. He just looks at the guards like, "You'd be wise never to try and assault my place of business. You'll return to your captain and you'll let them know what happened here so you can face his punishment before I tell him myself. You're lucky I didn't kill any of you. How fucking dare you?" One of the guards kind of, we recognize those people. You're harboring criminals. Do you see any wanted pictures around? No, you don't. There's a very good reason for that, because they are no criminals. They are my patrons, and I protect my patrons against unjust arrest. So you can fuck off. If I ever see any of the 4 of you try and set foot in my building again, I'll kill you. And the guards get up, they're battered and bruised, their armor dented in several places, and the 3 of them scurry away quite quickly. The other one just kind of gets up and kind of holds on to his stomach and just looks at Shakad like, "This isn't the last you've seen of us. We'll be back with more guards, and my captain will make sure those 4 are arrested." "No, you won't. Yes, I will. My captain will listen to me." "No, he won't. And you know what? You'll listen to me as well. I suggest you fuck off." You watch as a dull pink hue just emanates from the guard's eyes for just a few moments before it fades. His face that looks hurt and kind of angry but scared at the same time just fades instantly. "Yeah, I think I should go back to speak to my captain." And he just slowly turns around and walks away. Shakad kind of looks up like, strife. Why do we have to put up with this bullshit? I need to branch out to another fucking city. Come on, inside. And the elemental slowly turns around and floats back inside, and he follows suit.
Can we? Well, certainly. Can I now fly back up to the window?
Yeah, you can.
I think he's dealt with the threat, and with that, I'm gonna fly myself back up to the.
All
the
right,
window.
yeah, you say that to your 3 companions, and you make your way back
Fern?
up to the make your way back up to the window.
I'm gonna readjust myself, put my bow down,
Uh huh.
sort of scatter a few things
I'm
around.
just sat in the window waiting for the guards to burst in.
So as you, yeah, Victoria, as you fly your way up, you get to the window frame, and as you try and fly in, you meet a sudden impact as both you and an invisible Nehtari go tumbling to the floor inside the tower.
Ah! Lads, they've got me! They've got me!
Sorry. I'm gonna start feeling around, see if I can get an idea of like where he is.
Go ahead and roll a high or low, please.
Low.
All right, yeah, you are able to like feel the very distinct features of Nehtari's face, nose, like the. I'm assuming you're not clean shaven, but you're not like full bearded, Nehtari.
No, but with Colin, he'll be trying to keep himself rather clean shaven.
Yeah, there's a bit of stubble there, but you can feel the face of Nehtari.
Oh no, he's putting in the effort to keep himself clean.
Oh,
you know.
completely clean shaven. So yeah, it's smooth. It's fine. Smooth face, but the face of Nehtari.
Oh,
It's us.
what are you doing back here? The guards are coming.
Seems
Yeah, no, in the time that has gone by, Nehtari, the guards were coming to the door to the tower, and then it's been a couple of minutes since then, and they've still not made their way up. So something's happened in the meantime. You can just with your passive insight of 12, yeah, you know something's prevented them from coming upstairs.
I guess he really did have some pretty good magic protecting this place.
well, from what we've just seen, looked a lot like an elemental. He's clearly got some skills. Gonna pick myself up off the floor, readjust myself, make myself look presentable, and as I say, I'll put my bow down casually. I'm going to return to the seat that I was in previously, put my feet up. Resume the position I was in when Shikard came up the first time.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead and roll me a deception check. And I'll give you this advantage. While you're rolling that, Temple, Corlina, you guys returning back up to the tower as well?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, cool. And manage to you fly your way up. You can hear 2 sets of footsteps walking away from you. You can see Victoria, so you can assume Nehtari is in the area as well. Do you guys just return to the common room as well, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you return, and a few minutes go by. There's another knock on the door, and it slowly opens, and Shakad walks in, and very slowly and quietly closes the door behind him. Looks up to you all. My apologies for my behavior a few moments ago. I had a bit of an issue to deal with, and I had to call upon my bodyguard to ensure the safety of my patrons and my property. I just wanted to come up here and, make sure that you are still here. If you weren't here, there wouldn't have been need for my actions, but just so you're aware, a bunch of guards are seemingly pissed off with you still, and were trying to arrest you, but they have been dealt with.
Well, I'm sorry to have inconvenienced you. Can I be how relaxed am I looking at this point?
You're like you're looking a little too relaxed. Like looking like just like no, I'm so sorry to inconvenience you. No, like you're looking a little too relaxed, and you can Shakad's kind of looking at you, and you can just tell on the look of his face that and the fact that there's a light breeze coming down from the upper bedrooms, like guys, he knows you guys took off, but it's just well in the event that they come back here with their superiors, which I highly doubt will happen, my bodyguard and I will be here to prevent your arrest, because I'm pretty sure you've done nothing wrong.
There was a very serious case of wrong place, wrong time, but we are indeed not guilty of what they believe us guilty of.
Well, if that's the case, being in the wrong place at the wrong time is certainly not illegal, so I am not harboring convicts, so you can stay here, quite the thing.
This has been resolved with the Lord and Lady staff within the castle. I assume that they...
If the wrong place, wrong time has been resolved, then fuck those guys. It's plain and simple. If they come back, they might just be pissed off because they look like they're new bloods. I don't know, but if they come back, I'll set them straight again. Anyway,
it looks like you've got our back. I think we have to tell you the truth. We're investigating the that guy they hung the other day, the werewolf. We happened to be in his apartment. They thought we were robbing the place. We were just, having a look around to make sure. Well, to convince ourselves that it was right. We weren't convinced.
These circumstances were somewhat suspicious, so we were taking upon ourselves to investigate the matter.
So that was a bit of a lie then. It wasn't the wrong place, the wrong time. You were trespassing. Which is illegal.
We checked out the home of the person that had been killed, and unfortunately, we got there quite before some guards did, and there were bodies in there. Someone had, perhaps the man that had been hung, perhaps someone else, and I can only assume that when they heard the ruckus and came in, they assumed the bodies were our responsibility, which is quite preposterous.
Well, I don't appreciate the lies. Well, the lie, singular. But I do appreciate you telling me the truth. However, you say that the issue has been dealt with Lord and Lady Briarwood, yeah?
I spoke personally with Dr. Ripley.
Then it's no longer an issue. I'm not harboring convicts. You guys are fine. Speaking of Dr. Ripley, he kind of reaches into Tori's back and then pulls out what looks to be a wax sealed envelope. Passes it to you, Victorless. That was dropped off for you this morning. I'm glad I didn't have to see the doctor myself. Which is very weird. Anyway, do you just want your usual for breakfast?
Meat.
Aye, meat.
That would be...
Atari's still invisible, by the way.
Yes.
Ghosting voice.
He glances to Temple and just looks at Temple, and when he says "I," and then just just normal breakfast, right? And he continuously glances back to you, Temple, after Neftari asking for meat.
Shakad, we couldn't help noticed the ruckus in the street there. You clearly are a man of some skill.
I have dabbled in the arts of the arcane, as I told you when you first arrived here. These the barriers are spells of my own creation.
When the time comes, it would be an honor to have you by our side. Fight the forthcoming evil.
Oh, this wave of impending doom and death that's traveling across your home continent.
That's correct.
I'll have to pass, I'm afraid. I'm a businessman, not a soldier.
Then meat will be fine, thank you. Let's set back to my bow and put myself into a comfortable position.
And he actually, like, his expression like softens up for good and proper for like at that statement, and he just kind of looks at you and like, thank you. Any other time someone's taken note of my arcane abilities, they've asked me if I want to fight by their side, and I've given them the same response, and they've given me some kind of spiel of how, oh, but if you're so powerful, you'd help turn the tide of this fight, and you'd be so paramount to our survival and our victory. But you've just accepted my no and have moved on. That's a first.
You've done us a great service already today, so I can't ask any more of you.
Well, I appreciate that. Breakfast will be up with you in a few. And he very gives you an all a very respectful nod before he turns around and walks out. What are you guys doing now?
That was fun. Coralina, did you see the size of that air elemental?
It was quite magnificent, actually. And great use of control.
He had a bar full of guards. It must have been pretty impressive. I mean, we didn't even rattle on the doors up here.
Carlina, can you all go ahead and roll me another Arcana check, please?
Of course.
Boop, boop.
15.
I mean, there must have been 10 guards in that bar.
It's something, it's not your normal conjure elemental spell. Something different. That elemental was a little bit bigger and in more, like its form was a little bit more intense than what you usually see, like from Gale. So you're not sure if it's just a standard conjure elemental.
It's true. I mean, there are different ways of getting an elemental by your side. You can always tether them to the plane that you exist on, and they can exist there. Or you can just summon them by your side, and then they can move freely. Or something such as that. But anyway, I'll sit back down and, pop open that divination book and, flip through and see what I got, because I have words to give later, but I have to be able to make eye contact.
So whatever it is, it must be a high-level spell. I suppose you need to be a powerful magician to run a bar in this town.
A powerful arcane caster, not magician. Those are two totally different things.
Oh.
All right.
Magician.
We're in good company.
Work.
Sorry, on you go, Carlina.
Oh, I was just gonna say, calling someone like Shakad or myself a magician is the same as saying you're a pet store owner.
Okay. Okay, he must be a powerful user of magic.
Ooh, do me next.
uh,
I mean, Altar Boy?
yeah, I mean,
Boys aren't this big.
Anyway, moving swiftly onwards because it is actually getting quite late. What do you guys want to do now? You've been handed the letter, and
I'm going to sit down. Well, let's see what we've got here then. Pop the seal on the letter, open it up.
pop the seal and open it up, and it actually addresses the group to the Kate Crusaders. ...
Yes!
Word of your assistance in dealing with the lycanthrope threat to our fair city has inevitably, but eventually, reached our ears, and as per this newfound knowledge, we would like to formally invite you to our castle in order to meet and speak with us. So we may potentially discuss a reward for your actions in protecting the city, and further discussion for your task set out before you. We have been made aware of the blight that is affecting your home, and negotiations will be open for a period of time. We await your arrival. Signed, Lord and Lady Briarwood.
Sorry. Give that a sniff. Smell anything unusual on there?
he gives it a sniff. I first to a wild shape and to canine.
Okay.
Good boy. Temple goes. It tries to pick up the canine.
I guess the invisibility will be dropped at this point.
Yes, your invisibility will be dropped at this point. And so you turn into a doggo and give the letter a sniff. It smells of paper and ink. I don't know what to tell you.
You can't get any.
No,
No smells of other dogs or
no smells of other dogs or anything like that. There's a smell of like paper, the smell of ink. There's a little bit of the smell of like melted wax from the seal. It's kind of like seeped through to the paper, but that's literally it. It's a letter. It's paper, ink, and that's it.
Okay, turning back into Neftari, he says, okay, that's really, really odd. That letter just smells like a letter. Paper, ink, the wax seal. There's no smell of any person about it whatsoever. I mean, I'm sure you can use magic to create a letter, but it's not even the smell of who delivered it. What the...
Scott, you're looking very confused.
I'm just wanting to know where this train of thought's going. That's all. I'm just like smell this letter.
We're doing a CSI thing. The doggy, the bloodhound, can smell maybe the rest of who wrote it, something like that, or if they farted in it.
Ode to Briarwood number 7.
Huh?
Okay. So, were you guys doing that?
A really sensitive nose to be able to tell who almost they would recognize the smell again of who wrote the letter or whatever. But yeah, or they would be able to tell where the letter was Yeah, they would have the scent of everyone who had handled it, and they're quite sensitive, aren't they, dogs?
Mhm.
That sort of stuff.
But
So,
you don't get anything.
no, just paper, ink.
Okay. Well,
Make
we
that
have our
what you will.
invitation. Yeah, I was expecting Natari for you to detect perhaps the origin, ascent of the person who wrote the note. But if there's nothing, then clearly that's been deliberately masked for some reason.
Why would you have Neftari smell the letter? Not Neftari specifically, but what exactly were you expecting to find out from that?
If there's a distinguishing scent, an aroma, a perfume.
Oh, you have your sights on someone, a special someone.
Not the case, Temple. I mean to simply identify the originator of this letter, so that when and if we do meet the Lord and Lady, we can verify that this has come from them.
Well, that's what the wax seal is for, isn't it?
Oh, you think someone else invited us to the castle?
Seen from those guards that the city's legal structure may be somewhat divided. If they're free to roam around like renegades and make their own arrests without authority to do so, then we need to tread carefully.
I thought it was that way in most cities, actually. I mean, there's the guards get paid, but in most cities the guards get paid twice. Also from
I know of two types of city guard, the two types of city guard structure, the kind where the civilians run riot and the kind where the police run riot.
Still, I'm just being cautious. This Lord and Lady have been presented to us as mysterious, elusive, and
But-
very hard to reach, and yet within a day of marching up to the front gates of that castle, I seem to have secured an audience with them.
It does add up, though. For one, you've helped one of their, presumably a member of their court. Number two, we have assisted with dealing with a very serious threat to the town. And number three, if there is something to the idea that these people really want werewolves dead, then that sort of adds up, really.
and number four, they know of your plight in your homeland, which means they know you're a prince. I mean, when a prince comes knocking at your door, you're going to be pretty receptive as well.
How do they know about what's going on in a cry?
I discussed the matter with Dr. Ripley and asked her to pass on the information to the Lord and Lady in the hope that they would come to our aid and support in the matter.
Sounds like you've made a powerful friend.
Perhaps. But as I say, from what we've heard of this Lord and Lady, we should tread carefully.
Yeah, what if Kenjo got to them first? I mean, that's happened before.
Indeed.
Any worries or concerns, Goralina? Do you trust this invitation?
I mean, so far, I mean, it's worth a shot. I mean, but we shouldn't just go without weapons or anything like that. That would be really, really, really foolish.
Yeah, I think they'll probably take our weapons off us at the entrance to the castle. Oh, we have pockets.
Knowledge.
Spells. We, you know, I mean, Can you see them letting us into the castle to speak to his lord and lady with our weapons? Is that likely to happen?
I paid little mind to it when I was led into the ground, but I would imagine again we'll need to be careful.
Were I a royal protector for these people, their advisor, I'd be advising weapons be taken away whenever around powerful people, whether they have immediate enemies or not.
Well, here we have it. Step in the right direction.
So will they inviting us to dinner?
I'll recheck the letter. No mention of dinner, unfortunately, Neftari. Only that they're expecting us. We should have a hearty breakfast just in case.
You can't take your weapons into dinner, can you?
It's required when I was growing up, but different cultures, different peoples.
Needs
Yep.
a dinner jacket. Mm. But if
Alright.
it's just a meeting, I'm sure we'll be fine. So.
All right, so about 5-10 minutes go by as you guys are discussing your options and what to potentially expect as you consider how this meeting with Lord and Lady Briarwood will go. Shakad does come and go and provide you with your breakfast, which is an assortment of meats and toast and bread and cheeses and stuff like that. You know, just a assortment of stuff for you to eat for your breakfast. And with your breakfast now consumed and the rest of the day ahead of you, what do you guys want to do?
During breakfast, I'd like to just do a subtle point and cast message.
Mm-hmm.
This is just for a joke, so point at Neftari and with message. I think given that we were in public and you were invisible, so I couldn't necessarily find you. If you need to touch me for a spell to go off, I think my shoulder will be sufficient.
I hate you guys. I
I
hate you
do
guys
try.
so much.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
All right. With the request of "don't grab my ass," which is almost instantly refused. What do you guys want to do? You have the entire morning to.
Oh, sorry. You said you want to buy something smart to wear?
Well, no, I thought we were invited to dinner, and I thought we would need dinner jackets. But if we're just invited up to the castle, we should what make haste up there, or what?
Yeah, maybe. I'd like to pick up a couple of bits and pieces on the way.
All right. So where do you guys want to go?
I would like to, make our way towards there, but we've got a pretty good lay of the city by now, haven't we?
Yeah, you've got.
Been here a while.
You've not been there a while, but you've been through it several times, and you've spent like an extra, practically an extra day there. So yeah, you've got the basic lay of the land.
I want to go back into the hub where the magic shop and the armor shop and things were.
Yeah.
I'm gonna browse around. I'd like to pick myself up a fine, sharp dagger.
Okay. You make your way back to Zidril's extraordinary arsenal. As The door is open as you pass through. Mr. Jill, the enormous shopkeep is there, like on his tall stool behind the desk. Just glance up to you. Oh, hi. Welcome again. Well, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a gift.
A
Uh,
gift. What kind of gift? What is it you're looking for?
Um, a dagger. Something a little bit special.
A little bit special. Are you looking for something that's just more intricately designed and looks nice, or would you like something more magical and functional, something that looks pretty but is extra stabby?
It needs to be stabby. My friend has very particular tastes, so it needs to be something to impress.
I can do just that. If you give me one moment, I will go and collect it for you. I think it's my last one in stock. 2 seconds. He kind of disappears, like hops off of his stool and disappears into the back. And you can hear some rummaging around and clattering of metal before comes back through, hops back onto the onto his stool and slides out a dagger to you. It is a very dark looking dagger. The hilt itself is made of a rich it's got a rich brown like varnished finish to it, so it's nice and shiny with a few rings of leather straps around the hilt. Crossguard is kind of dotted with black gems. You can assume to potentially be obsidian since it's that dark, with a large chunk of again obsidian in embedded into the pommel. But you do notice a very dark and almost black and white flowing pattern that seems to repeat through the blade itself. For those of you who are potentially into blacksmithing, essentially this blade is Damascus steel. You want to look that up. Damascus steel is a really
they are
pretty,
very posh.
really pretty blades. So you can look that up for a reference if you would like.
Yeah, I've been looking at them quite a bit actually this last few years.
I'm just looking at pictures of this. This is like not so much the wavy pattern, but the sort of steel and dark steel sort of colors are kind of what I'd imagine Temple's armor to look like. Like similarish sort of colors, not the steel, but it's very cool, isn't it?
Damascus in Iran, I think it was.
Let me pop that
Persian
over to
steel
here.
blade.
I'll pop that over
Please
here
do.
so everyone can see. But this here with the flowing black, a little dark and plain silver of the steel from the blade. That there is Damascus steel, and it's very pretty. I'd love to get a Damascus steel blade.
Yeah, me too.
But he slides that out too. That right there has been enchanted with a +2 enchantment to it. It is exceptionally stabby. I will pass that to you for 7,500 gold.
Stabby.
7,500. More than perhaps I was expecting to spend, but it is for a special occasion, so
It is a gift, and sometimes gifts are quite expensive.
I wonder, sir, do you have the facility to
Gift wrap. Please say gift wrap.
smelt? And I just lay down 2 silver coins. I think it would be beautifully set with just a sliver of silver along the back of the blade.
That wouldn't be me. You would need to go to a blacksmith for that. I'm sure they'd be able to handle that for you. But I can't. I just sell things.
7,500 gold.
Please and thank you. Pass it over.
Yep.
All right, cool. Refresh your character sheet. I've added to you a +2 dagger to your inventory.
Hang on a minute. My gold just went down by. Did you take my gold off?
No, I did not.
Oh no, that's okay.
I mean
That's right.
that it was 7,500 because you were at 23.
Yeah,
1,000
no,
before.
that's cool.
So yeah, it's gone down. It's gone down by 7.5.
No, it just it went off. It deducted it before I pressed the confirm button. So I was like, oh, that's a bit weird, but never mind. It's the right number
Oh,
now. So
yeah. If you like, did you do like Oh wait, yeah, no,
it doesn't
just,
matter. It's
yeah,
it-
no, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's at the right number now. I was just
Yeah.
like, whoa, hang on a minute. It just went down without me pressing the button. So that was cool.
All right. So, you now have your +2 dagger, and the gnome Zajil kind of looks up to you. Is there anything else that I can do for you?
Look around to the. Well, I assume the rest of them are with me.
Kind of glances between you all.
I think I'm good.
You sure you wouldn't care for a new wand?
I just want to look at what's basically on display here.
Things are on display. There's
Martial or more magic.
are more like partial magic. There are 3 weapons that actually kind of catch your eye that may be more magical in nature. And 2 of them look very similar. They're tridents that have very strange looking opals inlaid at the base of the shaft, with several gems like lining up the neck, so clearly enchanted. The last one is a quarter staff that seems to be banded and lined with gold, with a couple of rubies, like navigating around the shaft of the quarter staff as well.
No, it doesn't look like they cater much to no offense to spellcasters per se. I'm more for I pull up my spell. I'm more for scrolls and stuff.
Oh, if you are looking for spell scrolls, I do keep some of them in the back. I don't really change my display much. But if you're looking for a specific scroll, I might have it available.
Sending?
Probably. One moment. Hops down off the stool and disappears into the back. It takes him a solid 5 minutes before he pops around, pops back and hops onto the stool. Well, I did take a look and lifts up the parchment. Like, yeah, I have a scroll sending. Third level. It's a third level spell. Application. I would say 450 gold pieces.
Oh, sold then.
Perfect. Please and thank you. Deduct the 450 from yourself. And you now have a scroll of sending.
Yay!
Yay! More spells.
More spells. My book is gonna be thick with 3 C's in no time.
Maybe 2 C's.
3 if I work hard.
You'd have to get up, like, I think another 2 levels before you'd see about getting 3 C's. Anyway,
So
is there any other potential magic items that you guys, or weapons or such that you guys are wanting to try and buy?
Victoralis. Earlier when Coralina was saying how I don't have any ranged attacks, well, she is correct. How hard do you think I could throw a trident?
Well, Temple, I've seen how hard you can throw a donkey. I'd imagine you can throw a trident pretty hard.
You could put a donkey on your trident and then throw the whole lot together.
I suppose riding on horseback with a trident also would carry momentum.
Oh, you have your wonderful steed.
Do you
That'd be a
think-
good look for you, Temple?
Do you think tridents are something that would be worth carrying? And also, DM, can they be a thrown weapon?
They are a thrown weapon with the 2060 range. I actually just had to look that up myself because I just thought the moment you said like ranged attacks, it's like, oh fuck, he's gonna like look up the like see if I get in that those tridents. Shit.
That big arm strength. Excuse me, my good man.
Yes, yes.
How much are those tridents?
Well, they are basically the same thing. So you unfortunately only be able to use one.
Oh, I plan on throwing them, so I may well need more than one.
Well, if that's the case, for both of them, I'd give a bit of a discount. 2,500 gold.
Temple doesn't react. Neftari, is
Ah,
that a lot? Is that a lot of money?
It's a reasonable amount of money, but I believe I was looking after your money. What
I
was-
will pay you back, fam. I got you.
Yeah.
Don't say it again.
Was that 2,500 gold altogether, or 2,500 each? What?
Total
Altogether?
2,500 each.
Each, right? So I cough up.
Sorry, 2,500 total. 2,500 total. They're 1,250 each. 1,250 each.
I produced the goods. Yes.
Please and thank you, and feel free to take them for yourself. And with that, Temple, I'm adding your tridents into your equipment. If you
I
want
shall
to
make kebab
refresh,
skewers of Neftari's enemies.
if you want to refresh your character sheet and take a look at your equipment, you have 2 tridents of fish command.
What?
2 tridents of fish command.
Yes, 2 of them.
Amazing.
And this trident is a
trident
magic
is a
weapon.
magic
It has 3 charges. While you carry it, you can use an action and expend 1 charge to cast Dominate Beast DC 15 from it on a beast that has an innate swimming speed. The trident regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn.
That's pretty good.
Become Aquaman.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
much scarier.
Fuck. You guys are basically becoming DC characters now.
Yeah, right. Get this. Not only do I not need to breathe and have movement underwater, but if I cast freedom of movement, there's no movement penalty underwater. So yeah, Aquaman.
So we've got wannabe Batman, we've got wannabe Aquaman, we've got basically Enchantress,
Beast Boy.
and basically Beast Boy. You're literally knockoff Titans at the moment. Fuck's sake, what have I done?
I got to have a look at this quarterstaff. I've got to take one quarterstaff and look at the 2 quarterstaffs next to each other. And does the one
Oh,
in the
there's only
shop?
one quarterstaff.
Oh, well, does the no? I have one in my inventory.
He's comparing his old one to that one.
I'm going to
Right,
look at my one and look at the new one. Does the new one look fancier?
No, it does not.
No.
Your current quarterstaff looks a lot fancier.
Right. Well, then he's not going to bother.
Do you offer identification for magic items?
Yes, I can definitely identify. What is it you would like identified?
Oh, I pull out the little pearl of power that was given to me. I don't know necessarily. I think it works on a command word. I don't know what it is.
Oh, he takes the pearl of power from you. Oh, I don't even need to identify this. Kind of leans over, picks out a second one. It's a pearl of power. Quite simple. You can use an action to speak its command word. And regain one expended spell slot.
But I don't know what the command word is.
You get to learn the command word, don't you?
Yeah, because when someone bought it,
No.
what the command word was.
Identify does not tell you the command word.
Oh shit!
I just looked that up right there because you have identify in your own spell book.
I do. I just don't have it ready.
According to my, unless I have to refresh your character page, you have identified there, prepared.
Oh, it's
You're
a
wizard.
ritual. It's a ritual.
Yeah, so
As a
you
ritual,
always have it.
prepared.
You always have it prepared.
So I always have it. I just can't figure out the command word for the stupid thing.
Oh well, has anyone used it before?
I don't know. It was given to me. She kind of just nods her head a little bit, Neftari.
Did you use it before?
No, I bought it.
Did the person you buy it from use it before?
I don't.
I'm just trying to figure out if someone used it. If no one's used it, then I don't know. I guess make your own command word. I don't know how these things work. I just sell them.
Okay, I take it and put it back in my pocket.
Have you any more little magical trinkets, by the way?
You bought this for me.
Well, no, I mean, does he have any more magical trinkets?
Well, it does depend
Yeah.
on what you would like to do. Really, I guess. Would
I don't know, any rings of protection or something? Or
how much are you willing to spend?
Ooh.
quite a bit. I mean, I've got more than 9,000 platinum pieces. I don't think you'll have much more expensive than
How wide do the shopkeeper's eyes open?
Not very.
Really? I did wonder if there are special items for adventurers that barely ever spend gold. But the more gold you have in the bank, the more liquid currency you have, the more hoity-toity you can be when you talk. And the more adventurers you can send to do your job for you. Carrying
He,
gold is so heavy.
He hops down off of his stool and quickly runs into the back one more time before coming back with a single small item. Pops it down on the table before you all, and it is a gem. It is an iridescent blue gem. Oh yeah. Take a look. See here. So yeah, it's like iridescent blue kind of shimmers on the spectrum from like a light pink to a very deep blue. So it's not like a sapphire or something like that. It's not like a gem that just is one solid color. It seems to it animates and shifts as he pops it down on the table.
Would Temple recognize if this is a natural geological formation kind of thing or something that's
You would.
arcana based?
It is arcana based. It's not a natural forming, or at least it might form naturally, but it is formed with at least magical arcane assistance. At the very least, is what you know of this, but you don't actually know what this thing is. Kind of passes it to you, like, this is something that might be of interest to you. I'm not sure if it would quite be your fancy, but this, I would part with this for 25,000 gold pieces.
What does it do? It's beautiful.
This is an iron stone of insight. Wearing it increases your wisdom score by 2 to a maximum of 20. Or attuning to it, sorry. So it is essentially a 1 attunement slot for 2 wisdom points. Cap. It's Gatsby.
I don't have 25,000 gold, but I have some platinum as well.
Oh, well, if you're wanting to pass off some platinum as well, I could definitely make the exchange. How much gold do you have?
24,300.
If you give me 24,000 gold and 100 platinum, that's your 25,000. Remember, platinum's worth 10. 1 platinum is worth 10 gold. So right there in your platinum, you have like 97,000 gold.
Well, oops, I think I just bollocked something up. Oh no, it's converted it to. What the devil?
What the devil? It's all the money. You start speaking like a rich person.
What have you done? Let me refresh this and take a look.
Kitty cat.
Oh, you've no, you've done nothing to your.
Oh no, when you click for removing or adding gold, it converts all the platinum pieces to gold. So it's less of a headache for you. I think I
Oh yeah, at the top it tells you your total gold amount, which is 122,603.
Ah, all right.
That's what it says at the top. But you have 9,742 platinum. It's like 97,000. 97,000 gold, right?
My gold's gone down to 0, so yeah.
Refresh your page. It's still there.
Where'd all my money go?
Yeah, it's still there. So
Okay.
So what I'll do for you then is I'll go ahead and deduct 24,000 gold and 100 platinum. That's been deducted. Go ahead and refresh your page. That is, of course, if you are buying the iron stone. It sounded like you were going to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll purchase that if that's okay.
All right, cool. You might have to deduct the currency yourself because it didn't want to update for me.
Free stuff.
Oh, I had done the currency. It's back now. What the devil? Bloody...
Right, just try it again. 24,000 gold, 100 platinum, and then click remove.
It's come back to currency and gold pieces. 97. Oh, I think it's right now. I think it's...
Right, let me take a look. See here. Yeah, cool. Right, so you
having something similar. I'd like to buy something for my wizard friend here. That's, you know, I mean, this might make me smarter, but I don't know whether real smart, and I don't know if she can get smarter.
Just say that was a safe fucking answer he gave right there.
It was very, very safe. Out of game, I will say that Ironstone will do nothing for Coralina. Like, an Ironstone of Intellect will do nothing for Coralina because your int score is already at 20. The intellect would increase your int score. Let me take a look. God, I sometimes hate beyond 20 for this.
Is it like the fire giant belt that I've got, where it'll up it to a certain score, but it won't? You can't go higher than that.
Higher, no.
I mean,
nope.
like, or lower or whatever.
Yeah, no, like so Coralina's int is 20, like, overall. So an Ironstone of Intellect, your intelligence score increases by 2 to a maximum of 20. So because your Coralina's intelligence score is already at 20, Ironstone can't do anything extra.
Oh, that studying paid off.
It would seem so.
Me also smart.
You're squishy. What if he has a stone or something that'll make you less squishy?
Oh, well, I do have something like that.
Okay, I mean, I like the squishy, but I mean, a stone that makes you less squishable. Is that the right word?
Digging the hole again. He's digging a hole again.
The gnome hops off of his stool, walks into the back,
Off
comes
he
back
goes.
with a rose pink prism that he then sets down on the table very gently. This is the only other one that I have. Or at least the only one that I'm currently willing to sell. An Ironstone of Protection. It will give you a bonus +1 to your AC as long as you are attuned to it.
Do you like pink?
How pink is it?
It's not vibrant, but it's like it's a rose pink, but it's not very saturated. You can see some white flowing through it as well.
Mm.
I think she likes blue.
I mean, it's
I got
okay.
her blue.
I mean, that's appropriate.
Cora,
Considering
let me smash. Now I'm the one memeing on you guys.
I mean, that's okay. I think preferably, I only can attune to so many things in theory. So I'd have to see if someone else can use the pearl versus myself. If I attune to the prism, for example.
Well, since we don't know the code word to the pearl, it's a bit
Useless right now, yes.
I mean, I could perhaps try one of those divination spells to ask what the code word is or something. So how do you nominate a code word on a that hasn't been used?
You give it a command word. I don't really know. I like I said, I just sell these things.
Right.
I can
So,
come up with one, I'm sure. But like I said, for an extra one AC, whatever that is, well, to make me a little bit harder to hit, yeah, that's fine, but I can easily get away, and I'm usually a long range combatant anyway. I think the Pearl would be a better option since if I can have my own command word for it, and I'll think of something. The Pearl would probably be more efficient for me because it can give me a spell slot back, and I can be able to throw more magic, so to speak.
and you can only attune a certain number of items. Are you already attuned to as many things as you can?
Well, I have one, the Pearl. I have my cloak, and and she pulls out her period of wound closure that was like tucked up underneath her shirt. This.
Oh, okay. So, well, right. I guess we'll leave the gemstone then.
Okay, your loss. He kind of like scoops up the prism really quickly and just kind of stashes it away in like in a little drawer in his desk. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
I mean,
The
I
price
probably-
of that. What was the price of that stone?
That'd still be 25,000.
25,000 for, you'd say, a slight improvement in defense.
It's a +1, so yeah.
I mean, Temple can't wear armor, and it would be a way of getting Temple even harder as well. So, would it work on Temple?
I mean, it should, in theory.
Come in handy regardless. All right, you drive a hard bargain, but I'll bite.
25,000 gold pieces.
I'll give you 22.
That's not the price I'm asking for. 25,000 gold pieces, please.
Yeah, I can pass you another. Free.
It's fine, Neftari, it's fine.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it.
If you need the free, you can borrow it off me.
2,500 platinum going out of my account.
All right. I wasn't expecting you to give up that easily, but hey ho! Pass over the remove that from your account and an iron stone. I can't. It'd help if I could spell. Iron stone of protection added to your equipment. Refresh your page.
What good's money if you can't spend it?
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to do while you're in the store?
Nothing really. No, I mean, I've got my scroll of sending. I'm happy.
All right. So with that, are you guys wanting to make your way up to the WhiteStone Castle?
Just
Or-
need one more thing.
Yeah.
Not from you. Yeah, you're
Oh,
fine.
oh.
Thank you for your
Oh.
service. Talking to. They'll start walking out of the shop.
Okay. Thank you for your business.
Thank you.
Okay. So yes, you have one more thing you want. to do before you
Uh,
make your way to the WhiteStone Castle?
Yeah, I need to find a smithy, a blacksmith of some kind, or someone who can. I mean, we've got Fox's Armory. I don't know whether they would provide any kind of blacksmithing services.
From what you can assume, they don't really have a like an armor wouldn't have a like be able to have the means of doing that themselves, but you could probably there would probably be a blacksmith nearby that would be able to help you, because a blacksmith and an armor would work hand in hand.
That's all I'm looking for. Just need a small job.
Yeah. So as you make your way back to the Fox's Armory, it's about 3 buildings down, but you do see just it's not a named blacksmith, but it does just seem to be like an open planned like blacksmithing cordon essentially. So it looks like it's not just like one individual that's running the place. There are a lot of people there, so it seems to be some like communal maybe. So if anyone wants to come over and try their hand at blacksmithing, they can. Like if anyone needs to repair any like like metal items or forge them into something else, they can most certainly give it a try themselves. But there does seem to be like a professional looking smithy there as well.
I'm going to approach directly.
Hmm?
I'm
Okay.
sorry to interrupt your day, but I've had this gift for a dear friend. I want it to be truly unique and special. The one thing that's lacking is a strip of silver. And I wondered whether you could melt some coins down and just add to the back of the blade and maybe down to the hilt. Just something simple but as decorative as you can manage. It's more about the practicality of the thing. But
Yeah, he has what looks to be like like a half bandana kind of mask covering his face, as he turns to you and looks at you and is like yeah, so don't see why I couldn't do such a thing. How much silver are you willing to use?
what do you think for a blade this size? The back of the blade coated with perhaps, if you can manage some kind of weaving into the base of the blade and into the hilt itself.
I would say 4 silver for that, from the tip of the blade to the down to the hand guard.
Sort of an Alan Rickman thing going on there.
around the cross guard and down the connection here to. Would you like it to go down to the pommel as well?
Yes, I need it to run from the very end of the blade all the way down to the hilt.
From one end to the other, of course. I would say 4 silver for that.
4 silver. Now, this may be a big ask, but I wondered if it could be done immediately. I'm late, and this is partly my way of
I would like
apologizing.
to expedite the process. That would be an extra charge, I'm afraid.
I'm going to hand him 3 pieces of platinum. Hopefully
Takes a look at them.
that will be sufficient.
Enthusiastic. He kind of, like, he has them in his hand, he just kind of crawls them up into his hand, into his palm, and pockets them. This will be done as quickly as possible. Turns around and takes the silver that you provided to them and throws them into tosses them into the a furnace nearby in a smelting bowl. You watch as he increases the temperature in the forge itself, and you can see from just outside at a safe distance. You can all see the silver coins just slowly just melt down into a very, very thin flowing liquid. Takes takes some tongs and hangs on to the bow itself, and clamping down the blade just very intricately starts to take what looks to be a kind of think of it like a pin, like a much thicker, or a punch, sorry, like a nail punch that you do in woodwork. He essentially takes that and dips it into the molten silver and starts slowly trilling along the back of the blade. Takes him about 20 minutes to half an hour of warm, heating the metal, trailing down, reheating the metal as it cools, and going through the process over and over again before eventually he just quenches the molten metal and takes the blade out and just looks over it. Yes, that should be good enough. He kind of shows it to you, Victorious, and what do you think? Is this of quality for you?
Does it seem to be exactly what I was expecting?
It's exactly what you were asking for. It's not it would look better if it was, if the blade was if the blade was forged with this design in mind.
Yeah,
it would look much better, obviously, but because this is an after work on the blade, there are a few imperfections, but it looks pretty good.
Well, I thank you for your quick work, sir. Give it a little blow, make sure it's cooled down enough.
Oh yeah, it's when you quench a blade, it does sufficiently cool the
I
metal
just want
down.
to do it for effect, because I'm quite happy with this thing
enough.
now.
And he just looks in. Yes, of course. If you are staying in a WhiteStone long enough, feel free to come back, and I will happily help maintain your armor, your weaponries. Or if you have any other requests, please do not hesitate.
Thank you for your fine handiwork, sir.
You are quite welcome.
Perfectly.
And kind of lifts his mask back up and is just under his eyes, over his nose. Well, I wish you a good day.
And you, sir. And I'm going to head off, giving it a good look over, happy with the result.
All right.
So we're going to go and see the Lord and Lady then.
You're muted, Carolina.
Hey, brother, what's up?
I've just had a book popped open because we were waiting.
I was like, huh? What?
What? We're done?
Yeah, I got what I needed.
How's it been?
Okay.
How's the move treating you?
So I guess when so we're gonna go see the Lord and Lady now.
Unless anyone's got anything better to do.
Well, beer.
Like you're thinking, Atari, but hopefully they'll have the very finest beer in the castle.
You got extra smart.
This is the very finest beer.
Extra smart.
All right. So, with a conjured beer, with your new silver-laced dagger in hand, and an invitation to go and speak to Lord and Lady Briarwood.
While we're on the way there, I will be taking some leather strapping or a part of one of the existing sheaths that I've got. I'm gonna try and wrap this blade in leather.
Okay.
Either a bit of my armor,
like a makeshift scabbard, yeah.
Yeah, just
okay. What I can imagine you doing then is you take the leather scabbard of one of your short swords and kind of cut some of the leather at the the base of the short sword where the tip of the blade would rest, so you can like just slide it out. So you still have a scabbard there, but it's just the tip that's exposed, and then work that leather around the blade of the dagger itself and then just like fasten it together to make a makeshift sheath. Does that sound good?
Yep, perfect. And
Alright.
then I'm going to take that
Cool.
dagger and I'm going to secrete it down beneath my armor.
Cool.
So I'm nice and safe.
Wow, you
Cool.
paid 25,000 for a dagger. Then I had to get it really patched up, and it doesn't even come with a scabbard. So you coming, didn't it?
All right, go ahead and roll me a stealth. No, actually, no, a sleight of hand check, please, Victorless. And I will actually give you an advantage for this. Dirty 20. All right. So you managed to slot the dagger into like in amongst your cloak and kind of like when you initially think, yep, no, yep, cool, fine, that's it. But as you're walking, it feels a little uncomfortable, and as you look down, you actually see the like the very tip of the crossguards actually sticking out, like causing your rope to stick out, and you realize, oh, that's not exactly hidden. Give it a twist. Feels a bit more comfortable, and as you flatten your cloak down, can't. Unless someone were to get right up close to you, the little bump that the crossguard actually causes in your cloak, barely visible. So you've managed to conceal it quite effectively. And as you make your way up to the Castle WhiteStone and prepare to speak to the Lord and Lady Briarwood, that's where we'll call tonight's session.
And he's lucky to be alive.
Yay!
It's all coming together, and
It's
we
all
even
coming
snuck in a
together.
shopping episode.
You've
Can I just say-
finally managed to progress to the point where you can go and speak to Silas and Delilah Briarwood after.
Lady,
So is the silver for werewolves? Was it
You're
silver
not-
that killed werewolves or vampires, or what was it?
You killed you killed some demonic beings that looked a lot like werewolves, and you got some notoriety for that, some good notoriety for that, and they've thanked you for aiding in keeping WhiteStone safe, even though the werewolves are actually still alive. But still,
Yeah.
I think the thinking behind Vic was like, obviously we've seen werewolves, we've seen zombies. He's been around for like 127 years and heard all the tales of like folklore and all those sorts of things. But yeah, he's not taking any chances. He's like,
Yeah. Silver and
I heard that silver hurts bad things, so I'm gonna put some fucking silver on this thing just in case.
you guys are forgetting
Right,
the
cool.
best part of this session. And that is based on the gentleman kicking the guards out of the establishment. You all learned today how Scott would react if someone came into his shop with a knife. He would
Wait,
not
get
take
him.
any shit.
oh yeah, no, absolutely not. If someone came into my work with a knife, I've got bigger knives in the back, so like
Call that a knife.
he's called that a knife. This is a knife. But yeah, very quick, Adam, if you want to refresh your character sheet and scroll down to the dagger +2 in your inventory, you'll notice a little asterisk next to it. I have toggled the silvered check to it.
Oh,
In the
wicked,
customized, so it is now classed as silvered. So if it is going up against something that is weak to silvered weapons, it will do bonus damage to it, or it'll do like double damage to it if it's vulnerable to silvered weapons.
All I need to know.
Okay, right. With that, any comments, questions, concerns with tonight's session? Anyone?
It was good.
Yeah.
You let me get a few
Well,
jokes in,
so-
so I'm happy.
So he was like, so what?
We all had a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to attune my fish tridents? I think it says I do. And how do we do that?
Like looking at the trident of Fish Command,
Fish
You-
trident.
You do need to attune to the weapons, which is done over a short rest of just studying the weapon and practicing with it. It's like an hour or so, I think it takes.
Okay, I can't actually attune it from my
Yeah,
D&D Beyond.
so what you need to do is you go to your equipment and then scroll all the way down to the bottom. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, it's because you've not actually equipped them. You need to equip them, and then it'll give you the option of attuning to them. Because you've not actually equipped them, then it'll give you the option to attune to them. But
Is
you
that a
equip them-
one-time thing, or do I need to have them pre-equipped and pre-attuned to be able to use them? Am I going to be able to, in the middle of combat, quickly switch to one of these if I need a ranged weapon?
If you attune to them in advance, then you're attuned to them. If you then get into combat and decide, okay, that thing's just outside of my reach, but I don't want to get closer to it, right? Free weapon swap to trident and yeet. You can do that.
Can I? Is the attunement part just for the magical side of things? Can I still throw it as if it were just a trident without attuning it?
I don't think you can.
Like, if I'm not interested in the whole beast spell ability, I just want to throw a trident. Is that some? I know it's a weird request, I know, but the plan is very much, this is a ranged scenario, quick throw.
To the book.
I believe, yes, it would act as a basic trident with no additions to it whatsoever without attuning to it.
Yeah, because what I'm hoping for there is just for 1d6 plus 7 piercing, but without, presumably without the whole dominate beast thing, which actually seems like, depending on where we are, quite a powerful attunement spell.
Has it got a plus on attack or anything like that, or is it just you get the fish command with it?
It's 1d6 plus 7, and then I also have the fish command ability, basically. Well, it doesn't say fish command, it's dominate beast, but they have to have an innate swimming speed.
Yeah, so
I don't understand that either. Does that mean...
So it means that as long, a lizard folk, technically, I think in the monster manual, lizard folk is classed as a beast, and they have an innate swimming speed, so you could technically dominate a lizard
What
folk,
does it mean by innate and...
Innate means a natural swimming speed.
Right, but a dog can swim,
Yeah, but it's not a natural...
Yeah, well, everyone can also swim, but...
Yeah.
You're not you don't have a swimming, you can't swim effectively. You're not you don't glide through the water.
Okay, that's the distinction I was trying to make.
Yeah, you can swim making checks and stuff like that. But if you have a swimming speed, you can just swim without having to make any kind of check. But I can't.
It's a bit like flying, I suppose, isn't it? Like you have a flying speed and an innate swimming speed.
Yeah.
But yeah, can I
actually pop up in?
Surely someone's thought of this. I've not dealt with attuned weapons before, so
I would assume that because it's the magical attuned part of the weapon is the dominate beast. I would assume that you can just use the trident as a yeet at enemies trident without needing to attune to it.
Yeah, because if it requires attunement to even throw it, I'd just end up sort of cheesing it, if you know what I mean. I'd just be like, oh, well, I have that naturally equipped. Start of combat, I want to equip something else, but then I just wouldn't be able to use it mid-combat.
Right, attunement. Let's take a look at them. Some magic items require a creature to form a bond with them before the magical properties can be used. This bond is called attunement.
There you go.
And certain items have a prerequisite for it. If the prerequisite is a class, a creature must be a member of that class to attune to them. If the class is a spellcasting class, a monster qualifies if it has spell slots and uses that class's spell list. If the prerequisite is to be a spellcaster, a creature qualifies if it can cast at least one spell using its traits or features, not using a magic item or the like. Without becoming attuned to an item that requires attunement, a creature gains only its non-magical benefits unless its description states otherwise. For example, a magic shield that requires attunement provides the benefits of a normal shield to a creature not attuned to it, but none of its magical properties. So, as Adam said, yes, as long if you aren't attuned to it, you can't use the command beast charges within the fish trident. But
Yeah.
you can just grab it, use it as a melee weapon, or yeet it as a ranged weapon. The only thing though is the moment you yeet it, like you don't have you don't have a means of getting it back, so you would have to go and pick it back up again.
Go get. Thank you for checking that out.
That is no
I
problem.
was wondering that. Yeah. So he will have to consciously, after every battle he's used it, if he doesn't run away, have to go and pick it back
So
up.
I won't be
so
that.
will test me on that.
No, I won't be that kind of an arsehole. I won't be like, right, well, you yeet your trident, and you didn't say you picked it back up, so you don't have your trident anymore. No,
But if we're next to the sea and you make me throw it,
like, well, no, like if say you're out in an open field and you yeet your trident and roll a natural 1, it'll take you a while to find it, if you even find it. Like, you would probably like yeet it into orbit and then it's just gone. It just ceases to exist. But like, if it's in combat and you throw it at something and you miss and it embeds into the wall or just goes clattering across the ground off into the distance, after combat, like, I wouldn't be it's that much of a dickhead to be like, oh, you didn't say you picked it up. No, I'd figure that Temple would. Oh well, I messed with my trident. Let me go and grab my trident because it's my ranged weapon option. I'm not going to forget about that. I'm not that kind of an arsehole.
Yeah, and if you're attuned, what happens to an item that you're attuned to that you lose?
If you lose the if you lose the item itself, then you lose the attunement.
we need to get one thing straight. This is a trident of fish command. It's not attunement, it's attunement.
I'm looking forward to killing you next session. No, I'm genuinely looking forward to killing you next session. I'm going to go out of my way to kill you next session.
What? Well, what? Are you going to take me to the ocean where all the tuna fish are going to kill me? You can't, because in the ocean, Temple is unstoppable because he has proficiency. my housemate just sighed so loudly.
I am so tempted to click this remove from group button and kick you out of this call right now. God, I hate you so much right now. Right.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah, we're going to end here. No end calls, no nothing. That we're just going to end abruptly here because fuck this person and their puns. Puns are bad. Good night.
Bye.